Dave.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. Thank you, Blue Jay, for starting the episode with a deadpan, Dave. So, before we get into today's episode of Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation, I have to tell you, these chuckleheads spent the entire break giggling about something, and because of the way our audio is set up, I can't tell what they're talking about.
Dave's fault. It's all
they're all muted to me, and so it's just silence for 5 minutes,
Adam,
and they're all giggling, and
fault.
then no, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything.
It is your fault because you're the one with a follower called Laddie Dongleg.
Yes, that's true. Shout outs to Laddie Donglegs.
And Dave can't handle it.
So hi everybody. Hello. Despite all the giggling, I promise you today's episode is going to be very tense. It's going to be very tense.
I see what you did there. It's a pun on the word 10 with tense. And
it's gonna be
it's good. It's a good one.
It's going to be the 10th
done.
episode. So if you're here for 10th, hello, hi, welcome. We take Dungeons and Dragons very seriously here at Roll20 Presents.
Oh yes, very seriously.
Yes, it's a business.
Yeah, but I do want to start the episode by saying if you got to pop in before we started, and actually I'll show you real quick if you're watching on a YouTube sometime in the distant future. We have some new character art today. Look how cute! Oh, it's so good. So there's Malik and Little Fox and Arcturus and Ishi. This is our new character art, and so we have some new tokens, and that is by an artist named Hedgemom on Twitter, and you can find their art at the Twitter account of the same name. So yeah, we'll be adding some additional new stuff in the coming weeks in terms of like break screens and character information and stuff. But I was too excited to wait. I didn't want to wait until we had everything. I was like, no, we just do this cute character stuff now.
There's a conversation yesterday where I was like, are we gonna have the stuff? And Adam's like, I don't know. Are we gonna have the stuff?
Is it gonna be ready?
We have to have the stuff.
Yeah. So we have new tokens and we have new character art. And and all the characters looking real good. So I am super excited to be back, play some Dungeons and Dragons. It feels like it has been 7,000 years, but it always feels like that.
When you miss a week, yeah.
I know. How's everybody doing? How are you, everyone?
I'm doing fairly similar to yesterday.
I'm dying.
Yeah. So for folks at home, Arcturus, Blue Jay is going method on this, and Arcturus's throat leech's problem seems to have evolved into a real world illness. So if Arcturus sounds a little scratchier, a little less high energy than usual, that's why.
I'm just trying to woo Azaka with my hoarse, disgusting voice.
I mean, I don't think she wants a horse. I mean, maybe to eat it, I guess. That she might want it for that.
I mean, I tried fish and it didn't work.
Oh, hey, Azaka, what's going on? How are you? Hey. You want to come out here and smoke some cigarettes with me?
You want to eat this horse?
Some underwater cigarettes?
Underwater cigarettes?
Yeah, the little known fact of the Vape Nation. Bottom of the sea. Not a lot of horses in the jungle. We do have the fragments of a boat, though, so...
Fragments of a Boat doesn't really help us. The Fragments of a Boat does sound like a great album name.
It's totally the album name. Yeah, Fragments of a Boat.
It's my spoken word poetry album.
Oh dear, Triton poetry.
We have a fragmented boat and a fragmented ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
They didn't both die in the same episode, though. So that's a shame.
We have a bad history with like boats and ships.
Not dead,
that's true. That's very true. I forgot about that. The OG Roll20 Presents ship was also sunk and burned down in both a literal and metaphorical sense.
On a boat.
My first character ever died on a boat.
Yeah, spoilers for that sweet Adventurers League game.
And Elf and I didn't even get to smooch.
We didn't even get to smooch at all.
No, they're smooching in heaven. No, actually, they went to hell. We forgot about that.
They're
smooching in the inverted ziggurat.
Yeah, and then there was some fan fiction written, I remember, by a certain Blue Jay about that.
Man, role-playing games are a trip. There's some weird things happening. So hi everyone, we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons today. I hope you're excited. There's lots of jungle to explore, and guess what? The best news is mayonnaise. It's the mayonnaise.
We've got the unending 2 gallon per day mayonnaise producing magic item.
You know, they say no nays is good nays, but I disagree.
I also disagree.
I want you both to stop.
Mayo, eat all your heart desires. So yeah, after all of the last episode's shenanigans, after much debate and flamethrowers, we finally came to a place where you retrieved the treasure of the seriously misnamed Camp Righteous, and recovered yourself
No, it was
a
righteous.
mighty urn.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Some people say you shouldn't eat just condiments, but I say nays.
Right, distracted elf, always a naysayer. Actually, I'm working on a custom class for you called the naysayer, and
good.
yeah, you can call on the power of the mayo.
The Mayomancer.
Yeah, mayomancer. Yeah. Listen, let's be real. It's about as good as liftomancy. Okay. So
Hey, do you even liftomancy?
no, I have never been a liftomancer in my.
So
short-
we're gonna retire from adventuring and go into business selling mayonnaise.
mayonnaise.
Right?
Yeah, artisanal
I'm
mayonnaise.
not doing that.
If I learned anything from Stardew Valley, it's that you can get fucking rich off of mayonnaise.
You can
I
get
mean,
baller
that
out of
is
control. People will
true.
love you too. There's several people. Several people
It's
really
okay.
want mayo.
Is the mayonnaise in the alchemy jar made out of chicken eggs or duck eggs?
Magic eggs.
Magic eggs.
Yeah. It comes from the elemental plane of mayonnaise. So it's a
I
small
want
portal.
to go to there.
Yeah. Mayonnaise elementals.
Is it can it have aioli instead of mayonnaise?
That's adjacent to a different elemental plane, right? They all kind of overlap.
Well, Adam, let's be real. They're not overlapping. They're sandwiched together.
Well, good episode, everybody. I think we're done. I think that's it. I think we can go. Stick around. Dragon Friends are up next. We'll see you next time. Bye. All right.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
okay.
sorry I started that up again.
You would need to get in a DeLorean and travel back in time to apologize for starting the terrible puns, because we've been doing this for well on over a year now.
I just meant this specific instance.
Right. Okay.
Mayonnaise related mishaps. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's focus. Come on. We got some Dungeons and Dragons to play. So, I think we ended with the defeat of the ambush by way of mortar fire and then Little Fox berserking. The goblins were scattered, many of them in pieces, and we
Scattered
we're
or
now-
shattered?
I mean, both. And we're now in a position to carry on. So let's take a look at our map of Chult, and we will see what our options are. So Camp Righteous, which can be found to the south of Port Nyanzaru, some 120 miles as the chicken and or duck flies. Lying along the river Oceanstar, you are heading upriver. Ostensibly, the Aldani Basin is where this river goes, but the real plan is at some point to offload and take it overland to Oralunga, where Azaka promised you that there was some kind of jungle sage, someone who could give you some information about the death curse that you are here to. You're not just here to flirt with Cyclopses, you're here to fix the death curse. So
How do you? What is the
Like
multiple
cooptopods.
Cyclops?
Cyclopes?
Cyclops is just Cyclops. It's like moose.
No, it's cycloptopods.
It's not. It's not, Dave. Don't lie. I know that your people invented English, but you can't just make shit up.
It's clearly
Oh, come on. You get to make stuff up, Adam, but Dave does not.
Listen.
I'm not particularly worried about what the multiple of Cyclops is, because if we have to deal with the multiple of Cyclops,
Yeah, the multiple of Cyclops is
a lot of
TPK.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Cyclopidae. No, that's the Animalia. That's the category they belong to. I think it is.
If they were a house in our Burning Wheel game, that would
right, House Cyclopidae. Yep. Yeah, that's what I said. Cyclopes. Yeah, okay. All right. Greek. Go figure.
Okay, whatever.
So, you stand as we fade in on the scene, the somber funereal music playing gently in the background, the lapping of the waves of the River Oceanstar against the blood-stained beach, and before you lie the shattered remains, the corpse of not only your boat, but many another boat, laying out on the sand like so much tinder, but not the dragon, the other one, not the dating app, the other one. And what do you do?
No, the boat!
Is this like a full-on throw yourself on your knees in the sand?
And I look over at little Fox and I'm like, they broke the boat. What now?
And she just like shrugs and like sits down.
You can't just shrug. Tell me, you're the one who knows how to get places here. I didn't. Without the boat, we can't go. Okay.
She takes a moment. Malik and Arcturus, what do you up to? Are you just standing nearby? Do you have thoughts? I mean, I know Arcturus. How are you feeling about this boat situation?
We could always walk. I mean, I'm assuming that you're still capable of that, Ishi.
I'm capable of walking, but have you seen how short my legs are by comparison with yours and hers and yours? It's like double the distance.
Little Fox can carry you? I don't know.
I look at Little
really
Fox
not
hopefully.
upset about
I'm like,
losing the boat.
And she's doing the math of like, you have to step twice as far, but you have twice as many legs. She's like counting on her fingers and muttering to herself.
Well,
It's going to be okay, Ishi.
it'll be fine. I just grew emotionally attached to the boat. Its
Well-
losses felt severely.
we'll make up the extra distance for over the coming weeks, for the extra hours that we have the complaints of Arcturus to deal with whenever we go on the boat anyway.
See, but the only issue that I'm seeing right now is, and Little Fox, she's like digging through her bag right now, going, I have like 6 or 7 days of food left. And the boat, we go doubly as far. And so I thought I'd have enough, but maybe not now.
We can still fish and hunt, unless you're also incapable of that.
I'm not incapable of, well, yeah.
And little Fox just like pats you on the head as she gathers up the remains of the boat to make a campfire. Because we're gonna need to camp
You
tonight.
gotta give that boat a Viking funeral.
Yeah, I mean,
And as
if it could be given a Viking funeral, we would just use it, Adam. If it could float out into the river,
No, you give it. Yeah, you pile all the remains of the boat on the last boat you have, light them on fire, and push them out into the river, and be like, "Rest in peace, boat." Wait a second. Oh hell.
And as for you, Malik, you try being nauseated for the majority of the day for 2 weeks or however long we've been out here, and see how much you love boats after that.
I've already moved on from mourning the boat, and I'm helping gather up smaller pieces of wood that
we're gonna
Little
make
Fox
our
is
little
leaving behind for a little
campfire.
campfire.
We're gonna sleep tonight, and then we're just gonna have to walk to Camp Vengeance.
Okay. Begin the long walk. The
40
long
miles.
walk to Camp Vengeance.
We're
Okay.
on Camp Vengeance. Yep.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leg it.
Okay.
I seem to remember that we can't camp here. We have to move somewhere else because there were goblin reinforcements.
Yeah, there was the worry because
We
they blew a horn. They blew a loud horn, and anywhere in the jungle, annoys, and also trigger happy shatter pants over here.
Didn't we
means
already
that-
have this discussion?
Yeah.
last
Yeah, we
We're
did.
already on the move.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're.
Well, this happened before
was a
we were.
flashback.
This is a flashback.
Yeah.
Single
the
tier.
The episode picks up with us,
Us
trotting
exhausted
through
from having moved throughout the night.
the- right, because we traveled through the night.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
we did.
Okay. Well, we can just go ahead and begin with the next day. So I assume the usual business begins. The blessing of Istitia, and the.
Except for now, I don't have to use one of my spells to make water because we have this magical jar. Unless you're using it for mayonnaise.
No, we'll use it for water.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
Okay.
She like tries to go for the mayo spigot, and her hand just closes over her.
The whole like Polly Shore, like you catch her with the thing over her head. No, we don't wheeze the juice in this town.
First, water.
Yeah.
than whatever else this thing does.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can only do one thing a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
So I guess water's a good choice.
Yes, yeah, and that frees you up to have another spell, which is hugely useful. Okay, well, let's Little Fox. Can you and Arcturus do the thing? Arcturus, roll that d4 for the blessing, or either of you. I don't really care who, and then I'll GM roll the.
And it's me and Malik, right? So I'm getting help.
Yes, we do still have advantage despite not having a guide because 2 of us are trained.
Correct, and that's a total of 7 for today.
Mm,
You got a 5 for your
my
survival?
bonus is 5.
Yep.
Plus the 2.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
How quickly will we get lost again?
Okay. All right, and I'll check for encounters. All right. So as with before, there we go. As with before, you set off into the jungle, and because the river is, as I mentioned before, because the river is like winding, and we're quite zoomed out here for folks watching at home. The river isn't just one like solid thing, so they're gonna be moving around. 10 miles is a big space. So there are places where you're walking along the edge of the river. There are places where you have to leave the river and head up into the jungle, but never that far away. You can always kind of hear the river in the distance. It's quite a wide river, and you can hear it rushing, and you move around tributaries and what have you. So you head out, and let's see if today is an easy one. It is, yeah. So you spend the whole day traveling without any incident. I think after all of the being burned and sliced and attacked by goblins of the past few days, it's nice maybe to have a little bit of relative quiet. I mean, it's still, rain and jungle heat and traveling through muddy terrain, but at least no one is trying to spit poison darts into your face or chop your limbs off or anything. So you got
it's these kind of days where there's torrential rain, horrible tropical vegetation, and just general bushwhacking to do that I really appreciate the fact that we don't have anybody trying to kill us right now.
As you say that, I look around waiting for the inevitable. We don't have anyone trying to kill us, and then
you see Bishaba, goddess of bad luck, hiding behind a stump, and she's just like, "Ha suckers!" Yeah, no, you're good. So you make camp a little ways away from the river. If you want to tonight, Arcturus, to go hunting, you're gonna have to either get everyone to go with you to the river or wander off on your own to try to find a nearby tributary or something, or you can all eat rations.
I would obviously prefer fresh fish to rations, but I guess I would be doing the thing where I shed my armor and I'm getting ready, and I've got a bag that I put, or maybe it's not a bag, maybe it's just a piece of leather that I roll the fish up into when I'm carrying it, and I'm getting ready, and I look around and I'm like, does anyone want to go to the river with me?
I mean, if you need someone to keep an eye out for horrible stuff that'll get you while you're swimming, I could come.
Sure, yes, I'll try to get enough fish for everybody, but no promises. So yeah, she's coming with me, I guess.
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Okay, so the two of you can go off. Yeah. Okay, so what's your
shout
survival?
Back at Little Fox. Be back in a bit.
What's
my survival?
Yeah, the two of you together.
Mine's +3, but it's not trained.
Same.
Okay.
And of course, it's Tishia bless us all.
Yeah. Okay. So if you cast a blessing before you leave.
Is Tishia blesses us for 2.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy for you to find water, right? You find a tributary, maybe a little miniature, like a pond or a lake, where the river has been blocked by a little mudslide, and there's a little pool with some fish swimming around in it. I think that we'll just treat all of that as one roll. So you go out, you get enough fish, and you return quite late. So Little Fox and Malik, you're sitting at the you're sitting at the campfire, stomachs grumbling, waiting for fish and food to return.
But it does.
And then it does.
I would like to just say that as we approach the camp where there's like a fire in a visible location, I spend like a good 2 minutes rustling bushes just to be a jerk.
Right. Okay.
Do I have to, because it was like a blocked off area, do I have to roll a con save?
No, I don't think so. In this case,
Okay.
you didn't have to submerge. You can just get them from the shore.
Got him.
Okay. All right. So you return. Malik and Little Fox, the two of you have some time alone. Like an hour or so while they're wandering off looking for food. Do you like hang out and talk about anything, or is this just like quiet time?
It is a merciful, quiet
Oh yeah.
for Little Fox. She's just like the tiniest little sigh escapes, and it's just quiet, and she says nothing.
Yep.
I don't know if this is awkward for Malik or not, but yeah, she just
It's the conversational equivalent of a hot tub on a cold night. You're just like,
yeah. She just like sits down, she has a little fire going, and she occasionally like puts a little twig into it and then leans back. And that's it. That's all there is.
Yep. Malik's
Unless
very,
Malik wants to
very
speak
happy
up.
with this. We don't have the two talkative people. Gives him some time to brush up on some of the cartography, read some journals,
Yeah.
relax
it's
a little bit, get a little bit less stressed out from the last couple of days.
mhm.
So
yeah, Malik and Little Fox do that thing where they're in each other's company, but they're not talking. They're just doing tasks in parallel.
Oh, I fucking love that shit. That's the best. It's so good.
Yeah. I agree.
So you so you have like an hour of quiet where you can hear the sounds of the jungle, the mighty jungle, and the river at its distance rushing.
All of this broken by
And
the
then-
horrible return of an incredibly loud, "Oh, scary grung out here. You best be on your best lookout. There's definitely grung."
They throw a rock at you with Mage Hand.
Ow! There aren't really grung. They like walk out of the bushes, like all indignant.
Can never be too careful in the jungle.
Aw. Ow.
Ah, hell. Yeah. So you come back out, and the group of you get together and eat your fish that Arcturus brings you. Night falls, and you all get a mercifully quiet evening to rest.
Yay.
The next morning, when you awaken, as is the morning ritual, Arcturus blesses the group with the mighty river water of Vestigia, flower of power, great god of the puddles. Make that blessing roll. Here we go.
You all look a little bit damper and a little bit cleaner.
And
Great god of puddles.
How
I
dare
mean,
you clean
puddle
me?
and stream, ocean and rain, probably. I mean, you're just the god of all water.
I mean water.
water
Yeah.
generally.
It's just the primordial plane
Moistness.
of water. It's just all of it. It's
Just
just
all water.
Water's important, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so same roll as yesterday, +7. Let's take a look, chat. Let's see how they do. All right. So this is one of those mornings where you realize that you're not here, you're here.
What?
So you go to get your bearings and you're like, wait, hell. So you
We
ended
didn't
up
realize this when we went to the.
No. You ended up going south yesterday instead of going west. So now do you want to go this way or do you want to go this way?
Mm,
I mean, Little Fox would take the quickest route possible
Yeah, the diagonally.
to where we know Camp Righteous is. Because
Okay.
if we go up here
Yeah.
Camp
and
Vengeance, yeah.
here, it's an extra day.
It's true.
So-
Okay. So this time then you are gonna go away from the river. This is a non-river day. So you'll have to eat rations and
as we
to that.
separate
good.
from the river, I like I do this thing where I like dip my hands into it and then just I don't know, I do some weird shit and I'm just like, this sucks.
Some trade stuff.
You bid
Yeah.
farewell
Like
to the river.
embracing yourself
Yeah.
before departing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, so
You know, I'm really enjoying this whole jungle trekking thing that we're doing, but you know what would be really great? This is just a thought that I had. Caves. Caves would be great. Are there any of those?
Perhaps when we get closer to the mountains. You see on the map, the Orolunga where we're going is very close to these
Yeah,
mountains.
she's like
here.
leaning up to see the map, like wherever you've got it that you're showing it.
Oh yeah, and then I like lower it a little bit so that you
Oh.
can see.
Okay, cool.
Many mountains in this area, and then if we ever end up going back to where that Cyclops said that they were from, I'm assuming that Little Fox fills in on.
Little Fox didn't tell you shit.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
That was a private conversation.
But
Yeah,
you
I was talking about
know
my
where,
romantic
you know where I really want to go is this place.
And I'm like tapping one of the mountains. I'm
You
like,
mean
This
the
is where the
Kobold
dragon
Mountains?
is. This is
Where's
where the dragon
dragon?
is.
That's also in the Piece
Dragon.
of Flame, right?
You're well,
Tinder is in the Peaks of Flame, yeah.
Yeah.
while your enthusiasm to meet more of your kind is commendable, you're aware that a red dragon. I mean, they're not all like this, that there have been exceptions in the past, but it's more likely to just kill and eat all of us than to talk to you for a second.
Yeah, not me though, because I know I gotta bring the right stuff, and then if you bring enough good stuff, they won't eat you. It'll be fine. That's what my brother and my other brother and my third brother all did, and they never came back, which means that they must have stayed with the dragons that
Right.
they went to see.
Yeah.
Yes, this excellent unexamined kobold logic. About, yeah,
I also like that the name of this episode is My Brother, and Mishi.
oh god,
Yeah,
my brother, and my other brother, and
Kobold
third
podcasting is very important among kobolds.
Yeah.
I've personally never met a dragon. I've heard many stories of their excellent collection of knowledge from ages past, though. I would love to communicate with one, but I agree with Malik in saying that they have been known to be quite dangerous, and we should proceed with caution concerning dragons.
Yeah, we're not going there now. Like later.
No, definitely not.
I'm just saying that we don't want to forget about it because there's a dragon there. And I like those.
No, that's fine. We won't forget. I'm
Okay,
sure
good.
we won't forget.
All right, where are we going? Where are we going, Little Fox?
and Little Fox is just like like way ahead, and she like pops her head around a tree and is just like gestures for you guys to catch up.
Wait, where did Little Fox? Oh, there you are.
Okay, so you're heading out kind of into the jungle, which today means like quite a lot of like chopping your way through things. This is the machete trailblazing situation.
Sure.
It's like hacking away at these things, and eventually you find a wildlife path or like an old misused either like Chultan or maybe Omnish like wagon trail. But the jungle has only mostly reclaimed it, so you're able to follow this trail now, and you do so for some miles before just as you start to kind of reach like lunchtime. You can feel your stomach starting to grumble. You're like, all right, maybe we should stop and we should eat something. The two of you have passive perception of 13, right?
Myself and Little
Okay,
Fox.
and who would be in the lead of the
Little
party?
Fox.
Yeah, it would be Little Fox because she's figuring out the
Okay,
that we're taking.
so then that means that none of you are. I'll tell you what you see, Little Fox. You can tell me what you do, and then we can decide what happens. So you're walking along the trail. You come around the corner, and you stop just short of walking into a nearly invisible nest of webbing, thick spider webbing that covers the path. And I think you come up short, and you can see it like hanging in front of you. What is the immediate thing you do when you come up against this spider webbing? What do you do? Because everyone else is just walking along behind you.
Keeping in mind, Adam, that one, I have danger sense.
I am so very well aware.
Yeah. But as soon as there's like spider webs in front of her,
Mhm.
And I assume they're like almost imperceptibly transparent. And
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but they're very thin, and the area is quite overgrown. So
yeah, and so it's like strategically placed in like a shadowy area where it's hard to see.
yeah,
But yeah, she just like immediately pivots on
Mhm.
her heel and like bodily stops anyone who's walking behind her.
Okay.
So they actually bumble into this thing.
Yeah. So that means that no one will be surprised. You can all roll initiative when I reveal to you what is about to occur. So here's the map.
Spooky spooters.
Here's the map for everybody. Okay.
You know what kind of spider this is,
Sorry.
Dave, don't you? This is a very specific type of spider. Known for its legs of a certain type.
Oh, no. I'm gonna.
You're terrible. So
Guys,
you
it's clearly spider grungs.
come around the corner and this is what you see. Emerging from the trees
Jesus.
and bushes. Yeah. Enormous black spiders coming out of the bushes, climbing down from the rocks. And you hear the hissing and as the spiders come down to pursue you. So let's fight some giant spiders.
Yes,
They are-
spider fight.
Spider dudes, guys.
Spider fight.
Spiteful fighters.
Spiders.
I got excited, okay?
I know, it's great. All right, let me roll for them.
I've got too much Ishi in my brain right now.
Oh, damn, they're fast. They're fast spiders.
Oh, motherfucker.
Clearly, Little Fox is too busy trying to save everyone else's
Mhm.
bumbling ass.
Oh dear.
It'll
All
be
right.
okay.
So the spiteful fighters come out of the trees, descending from above, coming up out of the bushes. Their webs block the path in front of you, and they're ready to jump. Now, Ishi, you're in the shade now. 'Cause
Okay,
you're
so no
in the
sun.
jungle.
Good. Yeah, I was
The
just
sun
about to
isn't
ask.
even penetrating the top of the canopy.
I need to get like when we next go to Chult. Remind me, I want to get a hat, like, because I've got a hat. I want to get a hat that like protects me. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Well, like one of those sun shading, like
Yeah,
parasol-
like a yeah. Well, that would be good too.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so the spiders they rush in to attack their prey.
no,
So the first giant spider comes out of the bushes, and I think it is going to. Oh, actually, let's see. What's the range? It's gonna shoot webs. It's gonna shot web first.
Oh, gross.
So it will. it will shot web at Ishi.
oh,
So let's do that.
Web
Ooh,
shot.
but it misses. Ishi, you dodge out of the way. So it rears up, brings its abdomen underneath, and squirts a line of webbing at you, which you dodge out of the way, and it hits the ground.
Nothing should ever squirt.
Sorry, that's just what happens. And then I think it's going to. Let's
bloody dong legs indeed.
It's gonna move. It's gonna move back into the brush away from you. So all the bushes are difficult terrain. So it does that, and then it moves away to get a better angle. This giant spider right here, this little spider, is also going to. I think they're all going to try to shot web at the beginning. So this one will fire at Little Fox.
Yes.
Right. Okay, same thing. So that's a no-go. Oh, I should mark which ones have shoot web. So that one has.
Oh, they only have a certain amount of
That
web
one has.
shoot.
Yeah, they can. They're recharging.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This one up here. Oh yeah, this one's gonna move. And now these guys have a climb speed, so they can climb right over the rocks without it being difficult for them.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay. This one, yeah, same thing. Go after Ishi.
Oh my god, stop.
It's just because you're so little. You're bite size. I am rolling so bad.
Haha, yes,
All
good. That's what I like. Now that I've said haha, the next one's gonna hit me.
Yeah, watch.
I'm pretty sure it'll go for someone else.
Ishi is the type to dodge something, celebrate, and then get hit by the next
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she really is.
Yeah, here comes Ishi.
Haha!
So dexterous. Ishi with that
Still
armor
ha.
class.
It's just like
At this point now, they're just like, they want to get you because they haven't gotten you.
just on principle, yeah. Spider principle.
This one I think this one's gonna come up and attack. I think actually these two. Can that one get close to you? I don't think so. Okay. So
She is the one, yes.
this one comes up to Little Fox, and it's gonna try to bite you. Ignore the second damage unless you fail your save. Okay, so it hits. So it comes up out of the web, and I think you're turned around, like warning your friends, and it comes down behind you and bites you with its fangs into your shoulder. Make a con save, please. You're rolling as bad as me, so you take 21 damage.
Okay, and I am not raged yet, so this at 11 HP.
It sinks its searing fangs into your flesh. And then
That's an unfortunate
That's
thing that has
rude.
happened.
the last of the spiders, this one goes its full move kind of up there, and it will try to also
God.
shot web. You're so small. You're so small, and I just really want to hit you. But I can't. It's just impossible. It's just totally impossible.
Honestly,
Right.
them firing at Ishii is actually good for
Pretty
us.
much
Yeah,
the best. Yeah.
because I have
So
the
they
highest
realize that's
instinct.
not going to happen. Malik, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, as I do this, despite all the extra effort you've put into making us tokens, it does mean that we don't have vision or anything anymore on the rest of the health bars. So
What do you
if I
mean?
could request some.
Oh, like on your own health
we can't
bars.
see each other's
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah. Because I did it in the wrong order. It would have worked had I done it correctly. You have no vision. There you go.
So
Bar or
is this one? Sorry, is this one in cover or is it still out of cover?
Those two are the ones you can see. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Little
it's-
Fox, you don't. Sorry, just like paperwork. You don't have dark vision, right? Only.
I do not have dark vision.
I'm the only one who has
And
dark
you have
vision.
60 feet.
I have 60 feet, yes.
Okay.
Bookkeeping.
Okay. There we go. Everything's fixed. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. I am going to twin spell some chromatic orbs at these two.
Nice.
So the one next to Little Fox, I'm going to attack first.
All right. Go ahead.
One
Ooh, nope, you miss. Yeah, so you conjure the orb. Now, what was it? You said you split them before you throw them, or do they split in midair?
I split them before I throw
Right.
them.
So,
It's literally like a right hand and a left hand one. This is probably a left hand one,
Okay.
unless the other one misses it as well.
so you throw it and it dissipates harmlessly.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll attack the other one.
Aha, there you go. That's a hit.
And let's make it some fire damage.
Nice. Okay. Spiders hate being lit on fire, like many things.
I also
13.
yeah.
I'm not fond of being lit on fire myself.
Okay, so the spider makes a shriek of pain as the chromatic orb bursts on its carapace, spreading fire across its now burning fur. If you never smelled a giant burning spider, now you did.
Those burning tarantula hairs.
Mhm.
Take
Yeah.
that off the bucket list.
Gross.
Yeah, and the webbing that it's on starts to like crisp and bend, and it starts climbing onto the tree to stabilize itself.
Yep. And I take a step back and move next to Ishii in case we get attacked, so that I can try and distract it, waving a stick at it.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm gonna decapitate one of these spiders with a rapier. That's my plan.
Yep, that's my turn.
All right. Arcturus.
I see that Little Fox got smacked real hard,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna move up.
Yeah, I'm probably turning a weird color, and I have like this massive spider like sinking its teeth.
I
Uh-huh.
think I'm gonna move to there because that's not in the webbing.
Yep.
But it's still within range of the spider. So I'm gonna use what one? Cure wounds, and I'm gonna whack you with some healing magics.
Nice, 14.
So 14. And basically like Arcturus runs up to you, like shield in one hand, and like in the hand that his warhammer is in, like it's probably got like some leather thing on it. Like he like touches your shoulder, and there's this like cool, like you've just been dunked basically kind of feeling, and then it goes away, but you feel a lot better.
Nice.
And then I think I'm just gonna is there like a bonus action like dodge or
Dodge is
anything?
a full action.
Full action.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna like look at the spider, have my shield out, and be like,
Okay.
come at me.
Which
Yeah.
spider did you hit with the orb?
That one. Top one.
Top one? Okay.
Top one. Yeah.
All right. So that's your turn.
That is Arcturus. Yeah, it's Ishi's turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna scuttle my way up there. Is this dangerous? Like this
Difficult
square
terrain?
here?
Not that one. No, that's
I don't.
just
Yeah, I
that's
was
just
gonna
got
say,
shadows.
It looks like shadows.
Yeah.
So if I can move there. Oh, actually, no. That would be silly because I want advantage. So I should just do this one.
Okay.
So I move here, and I'm not at disadvantage, so I have a pack tactics advantage, and I rapier the spider.
Okay. So you lunge out with the pointy end of your sword.
Oh, I missed.
And you're as good at this as I am.
But it's okay because action surge, and we go again.
Yep. So this was just a feint. The second one,
16.
16 is a hit. Yes.
So I deal 9 damage
Nice.
as I stick a rapier into it.
Okay.
And I think that's my turn. Can I? No, I already did my attack action, so I can't.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
So
fine.
you rush
I'm
up, 2 quick strikes, and the second one hits home, punctures a hole in its shell, and some greenish spider guts come out.
Yeah.
Little Fox, is your turn. The pain of the poison is abated somewhat by Istishi's blessing, and now you can turn your attention on the giant spider and
You know what
teach it a
really
lesson.
helps me not feel pain, Adam, is being in a psychotic murderous rage. So
Helpful.
I'm gonna do that. And just like a massive wet dog, she just like, foists the spider off of her and then like shakes the like wet healing magic out and sprays it. Whips out the hammer and is just gonna belt this spider across its gross.
So the hammer comes out, a mighty roar, and you take a swing, and you definitely hit it.
Yeah, it's a 16 to hit.
Yeah. Sure
Okay.
is.
And I hit it for 13 damage plus 2, so 15.
Nice. All right. So there's a crunch as your hammer finds purchase, crushing in a big chunk of the spider's shell. It rears back on the web, dripping blood. It's not dead, but it's very close.
And then I'm gonna kind of like shoulder past Arcturus and be like threatening both of these spiders.
Yeah, and you didn't leave its range.
No,
so you're
no,
still
I'm
well within. Yeah.
Engaged with both now.
Okay, great. The spiders descend upon the party. Let me see. I got to go around and roll a d6 for each of them. So we'll start with the one on the bottom to see if its webs are a thing. That one's web recharges. I don't know if it even really matters now.
Recharges is a very polite way of saying it like
10.
makes more
20.
goop inside its glands.
I've always wanted to do like mechanical spider enemies that literally have like a little bar of it charging up.
There's like an ampule of it that needs to fill, and you can
Yeah.
like see the goop accumulating.
Okay, so this one doesn't recharge. So the one down here moves up to you, Ishi and Malik, but doesn't do anything else because it had to move through the bushes. The one up here climbs down. Its webs do not recharge, so it's going to attack Malik.
Okay.
With a bite. And I need you to not worry about it because it doesn't get your AC. So you dodge out of the way. What does it look like, Malik? How do you avoid this giant spider? These spiders are like 10 feet by 10 feet. They are enormous. And if I were in this situation, I wouldn't be fighting. I would just be barfing in fear into the bushes.
Yeah.
And then I would die. I would just be like, and then I'd be dead. So good on your characters for being tough, cool adventurers. Malik, describe what happens. It comes up over this boulder, scrambles down the boulder. It's probably still got its back legs up on the boulder and lunges for you with the fangs.
Yeah. I like to think of spellcasters as not always, or not only using their magic every time they throw.
Oh, yeah.
It's like as he like falls back, he throws up a hand, and some of that like sand that like comes up and like crackles and burns later, like kind of goes in its eyes, and the attack misses.
Yeah, I love it. That's so cool. Totally. Okay, so yeah, and it rears back. It's its little front legs like clawing at you.
And these are like tarantula type spiders, or are these like orb weaver type spiders?
I mean, they're do tarantulas don't weave like webs, do they?
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
do, but not.
But not
Like
in
depends
this
on the
one.
species.
Yeah,
of
no, these are
tarantula.
definitely like
enormous orb weaver things.
these ones. Yeah, they live in the trees, and then they've blocked off this path, hoping to catch things that come around the corner.
And they've got big booties and skinny legs, and they're
Yeah.
all like weird, horrifying. Yeah, great.
They got that sexy spider body. They got that shalobe going on. All right, so this one's webs do not recover, so it's gonna climb up the hill and down this way. So Arcturus, you see one coming up on the other side of you, down the webbing. The bush is rattling and rustling as it bursts out of the bush to lunge for you with its poisonous fangs.
Don't touch me.
It hits you for 11, and I need you to make a Constitution save, please.
Okay, I'm gonna make this Constitution save, and then I'm gonna whack it with the Wrath of the Storm, unless I die, I guess.
21.
I don't.
No.
I don't die, but I'm almost dead. But I'm still gonna whack it.
Did you make your save?
No.
Yeah, you got a 7.
Yeah, so she did not. Make
So you failed the save. Okay.
because it's DC.
I failed.
11.
Yeah, I rolled for it. I got a 7.
Okay, I just
So
I didn't see it update yet.
Oh, weird. I did the
I'm
thing.
gonna just refresh it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Boop. Okay, so you failed it. You took the full 21, but now you want to use. You have an ability that you want to use.
Yes, it's Wrath of the Storm. I don't know if you didn't see it. Do you want me to put it in again?
Nope.
When a creature within 5 feet of you that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to cause the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d8 lightning or thunder damage on a failed saving throw and half on a successful one.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it needs to make that save. Thankfully,
Dex save.
Thankfully, it's a spider. They're very dexterous. So let's.
Well, it's gonna
see.
get hit by lightning from the fucking sky.
Damn. Fuck you, spider. What do you know? You don't know shit.
12 damage.
All right.
Oh, nice
from
roll.
the sky. It just like it hit. Well, it wasn't from the sky.
Yeah, it'd be
sorry.
from you.
It's
It's like biting a
static.
battery.
It's like the static. It lunges for me. It gets past my shield. It like sinks its stupid spider teeth into me or whatever it's doing, and then like gets like static shocked for.
I love the idea. Like, it's just Arcturus just standing there rubbing a balloon. Like, come and get me. I dare you. I dare you. I got
Like
this.
hairs all
Rubbing your
static
feet on the
out.
carpet. All right, so it bites into you, and then there's this bang, this discharge of electricity, and it scatters back, smoking from its mouth and back as you
Meanwhile, I'm
shunt
in
energy into
incredible
it.
amounts of pain.
Incredible
Yes,
amounts
yeah,
of pain.
and you're just like, and this poison is like numbing poison too, right? Like it's meant to knock you out. Okay, so there's 3 more spiders to go. Let me roll to see if this one at the top recovers its stuff.
Oh, so these spiders
does.
might have the thing where if they kill you with the poison, you're not.
You don't
dead.
actually die. Yeah, if you look at it, the poison won't kill you if it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one moves down a little closer, and it's going to attack Little Fox with a bite. It is going to hit
15
you.
is a hit.
Yeah. So you take 5 damage, rounded down,
Yeah, and then I'll make my con save.
and then you make the save, so you take another 1.
So 5 damage rounded down to 2.
And then 4 divided by 2
divided by 2 again.
Divided
divided
by
by
2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Do you have the resistance to all damage thing?
Yes.
Then?
Yes.
Is that what you-
Yeah, she has what is it called? It's the
Bear
bear
totem?
totem. Yeah.
Yeah. And we decided it wasn't a bear, it was a Triceratops.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. God, that's awesome.
Okay, 2 more spiders to go. This one can't move without provoking attack of opportunity, but I could attack any of the 3 of you.
Yep.
Let me roll randomly. Top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Arcturus, giant spider goes
Goodbye,
to
friends.
bite you.
Don't die.
Gets a
It doesn't
14.
hit.
Okay, so your vision is blurry. You can feel a numbness spreading through your body, and then you hear behind you there's like, and maybe there's like a drip of venom on your shoulder, and you turn around and jam your shield in its mouth as it slams the fangs down on you. All
fuck.
right,
Bye.
and then the last spider. Let's see if it recharges its stuff. It does not, so it's gonna move. It can move 30 feet and still attack. But there we go. All right, Ishi. So it comes up over the rocks and tries to bite you.
Bring it on, spider.
Nope, you're fine. Okay.
I would like to expend an action superiority die
Uh-huh.
to repost this missing attack stupid fucking spider.
Nice. So the spider comes up and goes to bite you, and you're like dueling its fangs. as
Yeah,
it tries to get
this
you.
is literally more like a like this is a Samwise Gamgee stab. This is what this
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Um,
Stabwise Gamgee.
Stabwise Gamgee. 11.
You do not connect with that strike.
No problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
You thrust out, but do not hit it. Malik, you and your friends are surrounded by enormous spiders. What would you like to do?
All right. I'm going to do a bit of a risky play here.
Okay.
Risky moves.
I'm going to move here, provoking attack of opportunity.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. I will miss you with that attack.
They'll miss me, and I'll move this extra one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do the patented. You see the orange fire beneath his clothes well up, and then it's dragon breath time.
Nice.
So let's cast it.
So it's a move. It's cast dragon breath, and then it's a bonus action to breathe it, or is it like
it's a bonus action to cast, action to
action to burn it up? Okay. Nice. Okay, and a 15-foot cone affects all 3 of these spiders, right?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So I need to make 3 dex saves. We'll start with the one closest to you, and then we'll do top one, and then the bottom one. And
you fucking stop. You stop that right now.
Okay, so they all save, so they each take 7 damage.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a burst of heat, Ishi, heat and force. You can feel the sort of backdraft as Malik erupts the dragon flame in a line out from him.
Ow, I'll watch the cape. Hey, you said I could do that next time.
It's my turn. Nice. Here, I think I even have a thing for this. Check this out. So impressive.
Exactly.
Such visual effects.
Oh yeah.
So the three of them suffer from some burn. Arcturus, it is your turn. The battle is joined. What are you gonna do?
Ow. Ow.
Please use your cool exploding move.
You would rather me use my cool exploding move than heal myself when I have a single
I mean, that's
hit
okay. That's okay too, but killing them will stop them from hurting us, is all I'm going to say.
The point I would make is, despite you wanting to do that and they're making a lot of sense, even if you heal, you're going to have to roll very well to heal more than taking you down.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
true.
The ones on either side of you, Arcturus, you can see are burned
really
and
hurt.
pierced and quite badly hurt. So
Okay.
it is a gamble, but
It's a gamble, yeah.
Yeah. Either way,
I'm
it's just I wanted
gonna go. I guess that it makes sense. I was thinking about it as well.
DPS.
We'll shatter. I want to get it's the 10-foot radius. I wanna
okay. Let me grab the template.
so that I can move it around, and then I'm using my channel divinity.
Yeah.
Max damage it.
Yeah. I just want to try and
Oh yes, all 3.
3 motherfuckers in there, and then the channel divinity will mean that
Okay.
I have to take a DC 13 con save, and it's destructive wrath. So it's
24
max damage, which is 24 thunder damage.
Okay. Well, the one next to you, you turn and call for thunder, and it just boom blows up. It blows up like the bad guy at the end of an action movie, and all 3 of you just get sprayed with bug guts. You're all kind of deaf too, right? Because this is literally like 5 feet away from you, and you can hear this. How far away? How many miles?
300 feet.
That's the thunder wave.
All right.
This one is let's see, how far can you hear shatter to? It doesn't have a
It
distance.
doesn't say. Okay.
So it's just a loud ringing noise, painfully
So
intense.
for all 3 of you, it's just like.
Yeah, it's totally the classic shooter game thing where your sound goes all
And
weird
then
chunks of dirt fly everywhere.
The webs also take damage.
Yes. Oh yeah, the webs are toast. You blow them away for sure.
But yeah, I think that I've cast the spell enough times that I don't even bother warning you anymore.
Mhm.
Because
Seriously, y'all are gonna get shell shock.
because it's
assume
gonna
that you're
happen
deaf already.
anyway.
Yeah.
And so I cast the thing, and you see me do the Shatter's not the stomp, that's Thunderwave. I think that Shatter is very much like summoning something from the sky to like mortar.
Yeah.
And you see me do like the hand motions, and then I hold up my shield to like block me from the like
debris.
spider shit, and then like your ears are just
Yeah, just boom, and just stuff flying everywhere. And for a few seconds, like a few seconds later, there's stuff raining down on the jungle, right? Like bits and chunks falling from the sky.
Like rocks from the road.
Exactly, yeah, rocks and dirt. And the and the other two spiders need to make a saving throw. And what's the DC on this? 13?
It's 13, a con save.
13 con. Okay, con is not. They're not as good. This is top, and this is bottom spider.
Well,
Okay,
one of them gets
so the
half.
top spider takes how much? 20 something.
24.
24 damage.
24 damage.
And the bottom one
Boom.
takes 12.
All right, cool. So the bottom spider is still alive. You've blown off two of its legs, and there's a big chunk.
You marked
it as dead.
There's a big chunk in it. Yeah, sorry. There's a big chunk missing from it, and it kind of like staggers. It's still alive, but it's obviously. Thankfully, the other two spiders next to it were they protected it from the mass explosion.
I suppose you could just slide over a little bit there, Arcturus, before your turn's over for that.
Maybe that's me like in like protecting myself from the goop. I got a little farther away from.
Yeah.
He like staggers back.
I'm just like, oh shit. Oh hi Ishi. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, Ishi, it's your turn.
I am going to stab the remaining spider on the right-hand side.
Okay.
With a rapier at advantage. Critical.
Nice.
And I deal 16 damage.
You kill
to
it,
the
no
spider.
problem. So it's reeling. What do you do? How do you kill a spider?
So it's like hissing and like erasing its legs and like backing up.
Yeah.
I imagine after like all kind of blinded and like
Mhm.
I imagine the legs kind of twitching around a bit. And I just give it the old like eye poke while it's trying to protect itself.
Mhm.
Because there's this nice big space where all its legs are lifted up,
Yeah.
and I'm smaller than its regular target, right? So. The like threatening
She's like,
square
"Get
of these legs
there."
coming down, they come down, but they're behind me, and I just stab it in the face.
Cool. Yeah. So just a quick snap out with the sword, and it just goes stiff for a second, and then rolls over onto its side and dies.
I feel like in the TV show of this, it's probably physically Dave, one of the only people who's noticed, but the choreographer for the fighting of Ishii has very slowly made it so that things are more and more like she's actually trying to kill things.
Yeah.
It started off
It's
all
happening
being
less
great.
by accident as we go on.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. Awesome. Do you
okay,
want to move?
cool.
Because there's a clear path ahead of you now.
What I'm gonna do actually is move to here.
Okay, so just dive right into the fight.
Right into the-
Okay.
Well, I'm in threatened square of
Mhm.
all of them. So
Yep. Okay, little fox.
You're
Yeah,
in
how
a
far can I move here?
range.
15. I was gonna go there.
sorry.
I want to be in the middle of everything.
I
Murder.
mean, you
Get
could be side
There,
middle.
yeah. I'm basically just I know I have high AC, so
Yeah. Okay. Have either of these things taken hits?
Everything has been hurt now.
It's
yeah,
been hurt
because
a
they
little
got
bit by the
they got
dragon.
fire. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
fire and other poking and what have you.
So yeah, she just like pushes past Arcturus, who is like really badly hurt. She just like muscles past him and just goes to like.
I'm like looking like I look when we've been on the boat all day long.
And I'm just gonna smash this one.
Okay, sure.
below with
Yeah, take a swing.
I'm gonna do a reckless attack.
Oh,
on this.
nice. Okay.
I get advantage.
No.
For what that's worth.
Oh no. Pretty reckless. Yep. So this spider's not injured or disoriented as much as maybe you thought, and it dances back and you smash the ground in front of it.
Yeah, and she just was like, "Gar," like growling in its face as she keeps like coming for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any other actions? Bonus
No,
actions
that's
or
it.
anything?
No.
Okay, let me check for recharge. So yes and no. Not that it matters now. Okay, so the two on either side of you see an opening, little fox, and they're gonna come in. Now they have advantage on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have advantage on their attack rolls.
Okay, so the first one gets a 22. Can you roll a
I
save?
will roll my con save.
Okay.
No
All right.
problem.
So you take 5 piercing total, and
And
2
then
poison.
down to 4. down
Two
to
poison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 poison. Okay, and then the second spider attack with advantage. It's a hit for 11 down to 6,
Yeah.
or down to 5 rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
And then I'll
roll your
con
save.
again.
Okay, same thing. Another
Another
Two.
2.
Yeah.
Great. I'm at 8.
Okay, and then the third spider is going to attack Malik
Come at me, spitter.
and gets you for 6. Can you
Nah.
no, you
You're
want me
gonna have to reroll.
you want me to reroll? Okay.
I think I re-roll it, and then we decide.
Oh
Whether
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I rolled an 18 on my d20. So you just roll a d20, right?
Wait, what? I thought you got a 23.
That's after the bonus. So I rolled
Yes,
I rolled an
I
18 on the d20,
Oh,
and then I got a +5, and then Dave rolled for me, and I got a 2 instead.
perfect.
In the alternate world where you get to roll dice against me, it would be totally effective. But in the world that I live in, where we actually fail sometimes, no such luck.
All right. Well, it's your turn, Malik. So
Gosh,
I think that like Arcturus is like kind of like shaking, like this shield arm is just like, and like he's got his hammer out looking at a spider in front of him, but you can tell that like he's like barely holding on to it.
He's trying to be brave,
so
but
I turn so that the cone goes this way, like past, not quite touching Ishi, but hitting this corner of this one and going here.
Because they're so big.
So the cone is like 3 up, 3 out, and then here. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's 15. So
The
it's
way the cone works is it's technically part of the square.
right. It's three squares. So that's the thing. If it's 3 squares, 2 squares, and 1 square, it's actually these 3, these 2, and this one.
It's not. It's a 45 degrees, including the extra ones out. It
So
counts the
it's-
middle of the square.
But then doesn't it hit Ishi then?
Yeah.
No.
So it's 4 wide at the top, then 3,
Yes.
then 2.
Instead of being 90
Yeah, that
degrees,
makes
it's
sense.
45 degrees.
No, I know. I'm just counting the number of squares that create the.
Yeah, it's
the
4, 3,
thing.
2.
there's a bit in this cool book I have called Xanathar's Guide to Everything where it talks about how to do cones.
Okay, so it is
You have
4,
a couple
3, 2.
different options, but yeah.
Okay, so in this case, that's how a 15-foot cone looks.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Okay, all right,
It
cool.
extends 15 feet out. And
Yeah, it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I need to make 2 saving throws.
You sure do. To save from half of 10 damage.
All right, so top spider, bottom spider. Bottom spider saves, so the one that's closest to you takes 5. And then the top one takes 10 and is incinerated. See you later, buddy.
Like you can see Arcturus take a visible like breath out, like whew.
Yeah. That's,
All right.
I wanted to make sure I hit that one for you.
Cool. Do you want to do anything else, Malik?
I don't think moving anywhere else necessarily helps anybody do anything.
No,
unless
just
you think
just
of a
stay.
reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
No, I'll leave it there.
All right. Arcturus.
I am going to let me just see, what kind of action is this? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I see Malik cast that spell very intentionally to try and like I can see him doing the like where to breathe look as he like pulls the like
simple geometry. There's like these
Simple geometry.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
and I look over at him and like as a thank you, you can feel this shield descend on you. I guess it's for a second you can see the reflections of like water and then it's clear again. But that'll give you +2 AC, and that's a bonus action. So as my action, I'm going to accompany my friends again and be like, so are we? And then just like smash the other thing with a hammer.
Okay, excellent. You do not. You do
I
not
don't.
smash it
I
with a
try.
hammer.
I
No.
try, and then like you can see my hands still shaking.
Bonk. Like
I
these,
think
these things
I
are
hit it, but
yeah, they're
it's just,
huge.
like-
You're weak. Like you're
Yeah.
not feeling super strong, so you just bang and bounce off of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, it was a good try. Ishi, you wanna show her how it's done?
I'm gonna give a good stab to this one in front of Malik, actually.
Ah, okay. All right.
yeah.
So you
Just
turn around, the one that's kind of on fire, but not totally on fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a good old Good old kuching. Oh man, I fucked it up.
Wow, you're all terrible.
All right.
All right.
worse.
I mean, third time's a charm. Do you have anything else you want to do, or Little Fox?
No, that's it. That's all
Okay,
I
so
got.
Little Fox, you are no longer reckless unless you're gonna do another
I'm
reckless
gonna
attack.
be reckless again.
Okay.
Um,
Continue your reckless flailing.
yeah. I think she's just feeling there's a little bit of like a cornered animal vibe here. I'm just like, we're surrounded by these freaking enormous spiders. Is a 12 a hit?
It is
Adam?
not. It is not a
Oh,
hit.
it's so bad.
They're very well. They're very well armored. They're basically like little tanks, right? So yeah, your hammer crashes into the side of it.
They're
and
nimble.
Chitinous exoskeleton at the correct scale is like pretty durable.
pretty durable. Yep. Okay.
Okay, spiders.
Spider time. All right. So one spider is going to attack Little Fox. Oh dear. Okay. So crits. So 14 down to 7. Now
Yep,
saving
that's
throw.
me at 1, and then I do a saving throw.
Oof.
I come up short by 1.
Come up short by 1.
Full
So
poison damage, and the poison damage is what does me in.
yeah,
So I drop.
you're dropped to 0 and stable.
Yeah.
Which is actually that's a good way to go down if you're going to go down. So the spikes dig into you, its fangs dig into you, and y'all see Little Fox go from, full of rage to suddenly like stiff as a board and then tumble over sideways, eyes still open.
Mechanically, how does the poisoned effect work? Like, what does that do?
It is a condition. You are paralyzed while poisoned, and for 1 hour, you're going to have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay.
And you are paralyzed, which means you can't move or speak. You automatically fail strength and dex saves. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and any attack that hits you is a crit.
Okay, so poisoned is just that.
That's the disadvantage, but it doesn't matter because it paralyzed as well.
You're paralyzed as well.
Okay.
The reason that they're applied as 2 different conditions is because you might fix one but not the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that in other circumstances you might be paralyzed and not poisoned, or poisoned not paralyzed.
Yeah, but in this case, if you cure the poison, subsequently the paralyze also goes away because while you are poisoned, you are paralyzed.
Well,
So-
I mean, I can't prepare that spell in an
Yes.
hour.
Anyway, down she goes. The giant spider. This would be the part where if there weren't a bunch of other people attacking it, it would pick you up and start webbing you and
Yeah, it would
FO.
want to
But
call me off to eat me.
there is one giant spider left, and it is going to attack. I think it's locked in Mortal Kombat with Malik. So Malik,
That's fine.
nope.
Nope.
You keep throwing fire in its face. It's all sorts of confused.
And now he's got the magic protection of Astitia.
Malik, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna try and finish these off rather than go straight for the healing kit. So,
Right, and it was your Shield of Faith was on Malik, right?
It was on Malik.
Okay, I just
yeah,
forgot to
but
put a token down. No, here, this one's
The-
better.
I had it in my head as 17.
Does the healing kit cure poison?
No.
No.
It's Little Fox is already stable.
Yes, yeah, you don't have to heal Little Fox. It's true.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So I'll be all right.
I
Malik, what
have
are you
spare
gonna?
the dying anyway, but like
Um,
you need to worry about Little Fox.
can I hit both of these? No, not really. I'd have to be up like here, and that's too far away.
Yeah.
So I'll try and kill the one that's like fighting me at the moment.
Okay.
Best course of action.
Okay. Save, please.
What
We'll
DC
take
14.
14 points of damage.
Okay, fails the save. 14 is exactly enough to kill it. So you blast it with fire, and it totally does. So now it's breathing fire, apparently. All right, dead.
Everything's
Just everything gets dragon breath and starts shooting fire. So you just breathe fire on it, and this time the fire burns away its fur, burns the joints in its legs. It tumbles to the ground. You keep blowing fire onto it. The thing lights on fire on its own, and then with a last shriek, rolls onto its back, and its little legs curl up, and it dies. There is one giant spider remaining. Arcturus, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try and whack it again
Yeah,
with that
that's fine.
hammer
Okay.
and see if I can do any better.
Come here, you.
With the last
Hey.
That is a hit.
swing,
Yep.
I'll hit it for 11.
Nice. That's a big hit. You do not kill it, but you smash it in the face. Maybe it's leaning in.
Saw Little Fox go down, and I got upset, and I like for a moment kind of like pushed aside the fact that I'm almost dead myself, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and this is like an upswing as it lunges in to grab to grab at Little Fox. I like it. Okay. Anything else, Arcturus?
I don't think I have any. I can't move or anything.
All right,
So.
Ishi.
Over here, you giant big bitey thing! I want to get you.
Rapier.
Okay.
You
That's
have
a 20.
advantage.
That's a 20. I
It's
have
a 20.
advantage.
You have advantage. Yep.
She's equipped with a literal rapier, not
10.
a rapier whip.
There you go. All right. So you do manage to get its attention. It turns to look at you and make a bunch of noise, and then it just gets a rapier in the face.
Yeah.
And then it falls onto the ground.
Gotta hit it in the vital segments.
Yeah, and it is toast. And as quickly as all the shouting and fire breathing and explosions happen, now we just hear the quiet sound of the jungle and a faint ee above all of it. And
Immediately, I'm looking at Arcturus like,
Is she okay?
Yeah, no, and as soon as the spider in front of me is dead, I'm turning to Little Fox and doing the doctor stuff and trying to make sure that I know the best course of treatment. So this would be when I figure out that it's probably best not to use any healing magic till the poison is worn off.
Yeah, you can make a
paralyzed.
You can make a medicine check. You don't know anything about giant spiders. Arcturus does not have any natural. So you can make a nature check or a medicine check.
I'll make a medicine
let's
check
do
to
that.
figure that out
Let's
later.
do that when we get back because we're due a break.
Okay.
It's some kind of land crab.
Yeah, totally. Some kind of giant poisonous land lobster. Yeah, hideous giant lobster.
Gross.
So let's take a short break and we'll come back and we'll do more Dungeons and Dragons. I'm excited. Stick around. We'll be right back. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's
Hi.
Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation. But I think the only things that are getting annihilated right now are some spiders, to be completely honest. You did it. You killed all the spiders, everybody. I'm very proud of you. So on the break, I took a look at this bit from Xanathar vis-a-vis area of effect on a grid. And let's just take a quick rules talk bit about this. So
Sure.
the way it works is to figure out the number of rows a cone contains, you divide its length by 5. For example, a 30-foot cone contains 6 rows. So a 15-foot cone contains 3 rows. To create the rows, you start with a square adjacent to the cone's point of origin. I'm going to switch over so we can look at this on the map. To create a cone, you start with a square adjacent to the point of origin, which is U. For every row beyond that one, put as many tokens as you played in the previous row plus 1 more. So you were wrong about it was 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry.
It's totally okay. It's just now we know. So that's how it goes.
So do I start it in the one adjacent to me or start it on me?
The point of origin is you.
Right. Okay.
So it's
if you're in a square, the next square gets 1, and then you put down 2 dice, and then you put down 3 dice.
Yeah. So for example, like if we were doing this at the table, we would use like D6s or whatever. But I could go like here, ball of light. So we could go. I'll give it an aura, red aura of 1. So you would place 1 here, and then like 2 more, and then 1, 2, 3, like that. And that's your cone of fire, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you move, if it's like this, then it would be like 1, 2, 3, etc. So that's how that works. You can envision it an imagined like space like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Now we know.
And I think that's the best way to do it on a grid from the options that it presents, because it's also like you can use a template and
do the Warhammer thing where you hold it over and look down with one eye closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, doing ordnance templates and stuff. That's the good shit.
Right.
I enjoyed that.
Well, and that's why like it's easier when it's a cone, when it's a square or like a sphere, which is actually a cube. That's why with Shatter I have this Shatter template, because for you it's always the same size, Arcturus. So when we use the Shatter template, I just drop it, and it's like anything the light touches is dead. So that's how that works. So when we fade back in, we see a narrow jungle path. We see some tiny bits of web hanging from the trees, and we see gloop dripping off of the trees, bits of spiders dripping onto the ground, and then lying in the midst of everything with a very concerned Triton kneeling next to her is Little Fox, who has been poisoned. Little Fox, you are in and out of consciousness.
I was gonna say, am I conscious?
I think no. You're at 0, so you're at 0, so you're unconscious. You're paralyzed and poisoned. But I think you're like flickering in and out, and you can feel you're in.
Oh, that would be so.
Some amount of pain
trapped in your body.
So like Arcturus, one of these horrible land lobsters, has bit your friend.
Let's make a medicine check and see what I should do about that.
Mm-hmm.
I get a 12.
Okay. The poison, you first of all, your friend's not dead. So that's a thing to know. The poison has paralyzed her. You don't have the tools to make it go away, but based on the rate the poison seems to have spread, you figure someone like Little Fox should be able to process the poison and get it out of her system within about an hour.
Yeah, and so I think that I would look up to Ishi, who's like yammering at me about like, is she okay? Like, what's going on? And I'll be like, Little Fox will be all right. I don't think that I should. She appears to be paralyzed, and if I were to wake her, she would still be paralyzed, and that would be not fun.
Okay. So we just
Let
leave her until she feels better.
Until she's able to, like, I try and lift her arm, and like you can be like, it's like
Mhm.
Like until she can move, I don't think I wouldn't want to be awake and not able to move my body. Personally, I don't think would
That's
be
like a pretty merciful thing. Like just
She's okay though. Yeah.
yeah, she'll be fine. I
Okay.
mean,
Well, then if we're waiting for her to get better, should we just stop here?
surrounded by corpses of spiders seems as good a place as any, I suppose.
I mean, we know nothing else lives here.
Just another day in Chult.
So do you want to take a short rest here?
I doubt any of us could move Little Fox very far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're talking, it's occasionally punctuated by like a growling that turns into like a loud as I like incinerate all the corpses like I typically do.
Also just walking around. It's
Yeah.
like we're watching Aliens. You're just walking around with the flamethrower, just torching them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like as soon as I get like Ishi like settled down, I immediately like collapse against a rock and like
Oh, are you okay?
I need to rest. What the fuck?
I don't know. It's an alien.
Really?
I just looked up to see if there are any xenomorphs, and there are.
Why?
I don't know, for fun. They burst out of the spider corpses. Are you wondering how you can get out of this chicken shit operation?
Yeah.
So let's roll a d4, Little Fox, and let's see if you come. You have a 1 in 4 chance of waking up as the poison leaves your system. Let's see. Do you want to roll it? Or do you want me to roll it? You got it? Okay. Do it. Yeah, perfect. All right. So at the end of the short rest, you will be awake and the poison will be gone. Now, spending hit dice is a thing.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Anyone who wants to spend hit dice can do so. I guess you start at 1 hit point, Little Fox.
Do I come back at 1? Okay.
Yeah, you come back at 1. And I will calculate experience for everybody. Where's my calculator?
It's 600 each. I
Thank you.
didn't look it up, but I looked it up.
Dave was very excited.
So I get 21.
Yeah.
Wait,
look it
how?
up.
No, hold on. It's not 600 each.
It's 2,400 adjusted.
They're worth.
6.
There's 6 of them, yeah. And they're worth.
Sorry.
6 giant spiders is 1,200, 2,400 adjusted for higher 4 level 3s.
Okay.
What are
Sure.
you doing the math for?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. It's not for XP. Yeah, that's what I'm getting hung up on. You don't get the adjusted XP. You just get the regular XP. Yeah, that's right. Okay, you made me question myself there, Dave.
What?
It's 200 XP. 200 XP times 6 of them divided by 4. You get 300 XP apiece. Adjusted XP is only for calculating CR.
Do we get any XP on a short rest anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Short by like 45 XP.
So we get 300?
Yeah.
300, yes. Yeah.
I'm sure by 5.
Short by 5. Oh no. Oh, you're living. You're death flagging hard. Brand new character art. 5 XP away from leveling.
Here's my
One day
thing,
for the
just like real quick. Technically, Little Fox during our entire short rest was passed the fuck out.
Mhm.
Do you still get to roll hit die?
I think in this case, like I'll allow it at the end because it's you wake up at the very last minute of the rest. I'm okay with letting you use the hit dice here.
Okay.
It's fine.
Obligatory reminder, if I'd been allowed to do meat grinder mode, I'd be level 4 by now.
Thank you for the obligatory reminder, Dave. I feel like your obligation has been fulfilled. So an hour passes in the steamy jungle with the smell of burnt spider corpse laying about before you set back out into the jungle on your way. So the rest of the day mercifully passes without event. You reach the end of the day, and you are able to rest, recover half your hit dice, all your hit points and spells, and the next morning we can roll for those things. You are not close enough to the river, so everyone needs to eat a ration.
Doing it.
Okay, so do that. Okay. And cool. Go ahead and the next morning you wake up and it is a rainy day in the jungle.
I would also like to posit that because we are not near the river, I put on insect repellent.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. Good call.
I've been putting it on every day.
Okay.
Okay,
good.
well,
Yeah. I mean, either of those are appropriate, right? Like, you can tell me like, oh, I would have been putting it on if I tell you something bad happens, or you can remind me at the beginning that you're putting it on.
I've been tracking it for every single day of the campaign. We've been in the jungle.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So you ready up? Someone roll that blessing D4 for me.
What was that?
I mean, I don't care who. Someone
I
volunteer.
heard typing and I was like, is somebody doing it?
No, that was nice. Okay, so +9 today. Chance of you getting lost are pretty low, he says. Okay, and you're heading west. So by the end of the day, you'll know you're on the right track if you reach the river, the main river. And then you got to figure out how to cross it because Vengeance is on the other side. So,
Vengeance is always just a
Vengeance. Yeah.
all right, so let's see how this day goes. So you travel into the jungle.
So this is another ration.
Or
no, not yet.
This would be the end of the day. So this day goes by uneventfully. You've been in the jungle all day, walking what you believe to be west. Malik and Little Fox leading the way. And then yes, Arcturus probably to your special relief. You come out of the jungle onto the muddy banks of the Ocean Star, and you can hear it's flowing, and you can feel the mist in the air of it rushing, and you emerge to its shores. Now I think you're probably at like a major tributary. Camp Vengeance is right up against the water, but you do have to be in the same hex as it. So tomorrow will be the day, but tomorrow will also be the day you need to cross the river. So we'll talk about how that happens. Would you like to try going fishing here, Arcturus? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, do it.
So that would be survival, you said?
Yes, please.
I fish.
Hell yes, you fish like crazy. All right, no one has to spend rations. It's another night of
Sweet, delicious fish.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I don't have
between Arcturus's fishing skills and this infinite jug of mayonnaise you have, you can make some bomb ass sushi.
some sweet ass tuna sandwiches.
Yeah.
I would think
yeah,
that the vinegar it makes would be better for sushi.
What do you carry on as rations? Oh, sausage and hardtack. How about you? A giant vat of tuna salad. Blah.
How about we have it
Just
pour
with my little
out
kobold hands
Just shoveling it into your face. Ew.
for our rations? We'll just
in
have
in my pockets.
and then we'll have the alchemy jug make some rice vinegar. It can make 2 gallons, and then I'll get fresh fish from the river, and then we can have.
That's good stuff.
No,
All right.
we get 4 gallons of asahi.
Delicious.
It's
Kampai.
really
I like
in
it.
the D&D world, when prestidigitation exists, instead of training to be a chef, you would learn to be a wizard because you can make anything taste like anything else, like a cantrip.
Totally. Here, eat this cardboard paste. It tastes like steak.
Yeah.
All right.
So if I don't fancy fish, I'm just like.
So
yeah, I want
today is an uneventful day, but at camp, as the sun goes down and as the rainstorm of the day becomes the rainstorm of the night, you're sitting around your camp, I guess, discussing how to cross the river. Right? You got to figure that out. So what is this discussion like? Please.
Well, I don't see why we just can't haul some across.
Because not all of us are.
So here's the thing. Like I understand that you are confident in your swimming skill, but this is like the Congo, right? So there may be piranhas.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just letting y'all know as a group, right? Like swimming is possible, but it would be very difficult. You have to be very good swimmer.
Arcturus.
Yes,
Do you remember the story from the temple about the crocodiles?
I could not forget it if I tried.
So we could find a crocodile and ask it to carry us across.
Yes, we could. I could ask a crocodile. Could you? Do you talk to crocodiles?
Little Fox could ask.
About you.
Yeah, and she had been doing something else, and when her name gets mentioned, turns and just says, "Crocodiles don't like people anymore."
Yeah, but I'm I'm more like a
And then goes
crocodile
back
than
to
like
what she was doing.
uh, okay, fine. It's a bad plan.
She's like House of Cards of logic, just
Yeah.
comes tumbling down.
So, this isn't strictly the way I've always typically used the spell, but I was wondering if I channeled some ice breath, whether I could perhaps freeze us a path across the river. It lasts a decent amount of time, and it's got quite a lot of force behind it, but it does move quite fast, and it's quite far across.
I was concerned with, I don't think that this river would freeze, even if it were in the climate to freeze. It is moving quite quickly, and the force of the motion would keep it from freezing. I don't know about magical means. We could certainly try, but
First of all, that's a great plan, Dave. Second of all, that's a D&D ass character plan. That's the kind of plan a Dungeons & Dragons character comes up with. We have a river. Somebody's going to be like, we could build a boat. We could construct a bridge. A D&D character is going to be like, yeah, but I could breathe ice breath and freeze giant blocks of ice together, and then we could run across. Nice. Good work. But I think the things that you would breathe, you could freeze some of it, but it would float away by the time you were able to like climb onto it and then do it again. It'd be very difficult.
No, I think Little Fox all this while has been like stripping bark from something to try to make like cord to lash together a little raft. I think that's the plan she's angling towards without actually talking to anyone, because that would be a character for her.
Yeah, Dave, go ahead and take inspiration for that. Oh, and Ishi as well. Elf, take inspiration from before. I forgot to give it to you.
Cool.
I already had some. Damn it.
Okay, yeah, we need to start felling some trees then, I guess, if we're going to do a raft.
That's
Oh.
something we would do in the morning,
Yeah.
presumably. But is it on a scale where that seems like a reasonable course of action, Adam?
Yeah. The plan is to what cut.
Not a dunce. Like she would know if this
Make
was
a nature
idea.
check.
Is this nature or is this survival?
It's nature. The actual building of the raft would be survival. Okay.
I get an 8.
Yeah. I mean, you can't like without actually getting in the water and like seeing how fast, because it's pretty slow on the surface, but you know that the surface and underneath, it might be safe to raft across until someone falls off the raft. But if everybody stays on board, you figure you're probably okay. But you also know, because you're not, like you say, you're not a nature dunce. You know that you're not certain. You know that you don't really know.
and that we know that the river is dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
Like properly dangerous, not just like, oh, you might get wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it seems as good a plan as any.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I
you'd
see
have
a
to
lot of
follow
other
the
options
river
first.
until it's either slower and then like ford across it, or like
Or
there's.
that it ends, like if there's like a termination point to this river.
I mean, it comes from somewhere. You'd have to go up. Like, yeah, you have all this chult ahead of you that you don't know anything about. So
I'd be happy to go with that plan. I can't think of anything better for now.
So yeah, like the next morning, the party gets woken up by Little Fox like pulling trees, uprooting trees, or like hitting them with a hammer to chop them down.
yeah, does anybody have an axe?
I don't have an axe.
no, I could. No, I don't have any magical means. I could just spell.
You could summon the fish whip.
That's not going to cut down trees with a whip. Thanks, Simon Belmont.
I mean, it worked for him.
So did we? Sorry, did we have a long rest?
Yes, yeah.
We slept.
Yeah.
Okay. And we get how many hit dice back on a long rest? Just one.
Half.
Half.
So one.
Rounded up or down?
Always round down.
Okay.
Unless one is like, because then you'd never get your last one back. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You recover half of your, like a number equal to half of your total, but it's not like half the gap.
Yeah.
Half the difference.
Okay.
How are we going to cut down a tree? How are we going to cut down a tree?
God, I love Mr. Worth's suggestion. Just catch a sawfish and use that to cut the trees.
They're not native to this climate. They're
No.
saltwater fish. Damn it.
So
And that's
what?
the only thing wrong with that plan.
The problem is we don't know how fast the river is going, like underneath the top.
I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
that's
feel
the.
like-
I don't know if that's the problem. That's
I mean, the
just
problem is there's a
thing.
giant fucking river.
I feel like
and everything
Arcturus
goes-
could definitely scout the river for us because you are so good
Yeah.
at swimming.
I'm
If you
also
have, like, a swim speed.
amphibious and I can
Yeah.
breathe underwater.
So you can like suss things out while we build the raft and then help kind of guide our raft along.
I supervise heavily on the building of the raft.
Good.
And yeah, I think like Little Fox is strong enough at strength 18 and is like enormous, like she's huge. I am confident that with rope and like a morning worth
I
of
have a
time, she could
question.
pull down a tree or two.
It's not
I
about
have a
pulling it down.
question.
It's shaping them, right? Because like a tree
Yeah,
has
that's the real
roots.
challenge.
Like you can't just break a tree in half with. You're not like strength 18 is strong, but you're not a giant or a god. So like busting a tree in half with your bare hands is very difficult.
No, but this is like
Can
in
I
the Lord of the Rings where they tear down the trees using.
can I go down to the river and try and find like a frog or a fish or something and ask it to direct me to where the current is the softest?
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Because I can talk to fish and they like the same way that Little Fox can. Where is it? I can talk to things that breathe water, or not breathe water.
Aquatic
they can-
beasts. You can communicate simple ideas with beasts that can breathe in water. They understand the meaning.
And
of your
knowing about the
words.
currents is totally a thing. that-
Yeah, they can understand the meaning of your words, but they can't communicate with you.
They could probably just like swim over to where that is.
It might be miles and miles up the river, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can try. There's no reason not to make an attempt. If that's.
I mean,
if
my
that's
thing
something you
is
wanna do.
I would be like, hello, fish person. Within like one sun passing, like, where's the best place to cross? Like, where's the nicest current or whatever?
Okay.
I would communicate with the fish in a way that the fish would understand to direct me to. I mean, obviously, because I would hope to.
Okay, so what do you
roll.
do? Describe the process here for me.
I mean, this is like you guys are all talking about like I don't know where to cross the river. Like it's such a big river. Should we do the ice thing? Like Little Fox starts like tugging at trees, and I think that Arcturus is like looking at the river, and I truly think that if it were just him, he would probably just attempt to swim across.
So you leave the camp, which is a little inland, and you head down to the river, and you get to the edge, and the river's edge here kind of like tapers in on both sides. It's not like a rocky cliffside or whatever, but on your side, it's very dense, right? So it's like you're walking, it's like jungle, and then your next step would be into the river. So like a lot of these trees kind of stick out over the river, but you can see it, and you can make out just like through the trees, just barely on the other side of the river. You can see an encampment. You see, I'll read the description to you. So through the foliage, you see a crude timber fortification, a walled compound with watchtowers and tents inside it, encircled by a ditch bristling with sharpened stakes. A large gatehouse faces the river, which is what you're looking directly at now, on the shore of which are 4 rowboats tied to a wooden post. Scattered around the fort are piles of charred human corpses and flayed animal carcasses swarming with flies.
Gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Flaming Fist are bad, but they don't like burn people.
It's not a flaming fist camp. But yes. Yeah, it's a mess.
Okay,
Can
so
you-
I go down to the
Have
river.
we done a history test on this?
Yeah, it's the other one, the Order of the Gauntlet. But that was Camp Righteous.
Yeah, we haven't done a history test for this one.
Fucking oops.
Well, anyway,
Anyway.
I Arcturus go down to the river and I'm looking across and I'm like, that's where we're going. All right. It does look like a place that could use a visit from people who don't murder people. But I like go to like where it's like
Is that us?
walk straight into the yes, we don't always murder people, Ishi. And I think that Arcturus just like continues to walk a little bit into the river with the like tree roots and everything, and is looking around and looking for like a frog or like a fish or like something that's not going to eat him to have a conversation with.
Yeah, I mean, I think mostly they avoid you, right? Because you're a
There's
land
a thing
animal.
where I think he just sits down under the water and just like waits
Okay, sure.
until something comes close enough, and then like does this little like hello.
Okay.
And if the fish probably like goes like and then like waits a little bit more and says, "It's quite all right. I just," and then the fish probably like just goes away again and tries it again. It probably takes a little while, fish.
Do you have any food or anything? Because usually animals like food.
Yeah, I've got some crappy dry ration bullshit.
Okay, yeah. If you mark off a ration,
I'll mark off a ration.
yeah, and you like
That's
crumble it into the river.
Anymore.
Yeah, a bunch of little fish like swim up when you crumble like food into the water, and so like
Yeah.
nibbling at it, and they're like around.
Yeah, and then it's really funny because I feel like Arcturus usually talks in a way that's like complicated and not necessarily accessible to fish, and he starts to do that and then can tell that they're just like, no, like I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not.
looking up at you with their big dumb fishy eyes.
And then he says, like, he dumbs it down like a lot.
Okay.
And he goes, within one sun, like he probably is saying something. I don't know. I don't talk to fish. He probably understands a little bit better than I do as a player. But he's asking, within one sun's passing, where is the place that the current is like softest?
The fish look up at you like they can't hear you very well because you're trying to talk to them through like above the water.
No, I said I sat down in the water.
Yeah, but your head is above the water.
No, I meant in the water.
Oh, so you like go all the way underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're like swimming around you, and you're talking. And so little bubbles coming out of your mouth, and okay, got it. All right.
I mean, not necessarily.
Make a persuade check.
Okay.
Persuade the fish.
I don't have inspiration, but a 13.
13's enough to persuade some stupid fish. Yeah, I think that they show you like they swirl around and then they wiggle their way off and get you to follow them. So you follow. So you're like walking along the bottom of the river as it flows around you.
And I'm weighed down by my armor because I didn't take it off this time, but it's totally like Triton armor and it's not rusting.
Right. So we just see the scene of you walking through the mud at the bottom and they're swimming around you and like leading you through the water. And then yeah, they show you a place where the current isn't too bad. Fairly near here. There's a bend that slows the river down a little bit. Yeah, this seems like the safest place.
All right. So they leave me there and then I scatter the rest of the ration in the water and I do this like, well, thank you very much. And then I like push myself up to the top, look around and head to the bank.
Okay. You head off towards the camp, like back to your friends at the camp, and I think you maybe get a few footsteps away from the river when you hear like a wet, like flapping sound. Just like light, just this like sound. And you look around, you don't know where it's coming from. It's somewhere very nearby though.
Okay, I stop.
You can still hear it. Flapping noise.
Can I if I try to make as little noise as possible, can I pinpoint what direction?
Very close. Like very, very close, but you can't quite pick out where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Perception check.
I mean, that's what I thought I was doing. I was stopping and trying to pinpoint which should
Do you want to make a
yes,
a
that was
perception
what
check?
I wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to make a roll, you can tell me. You can just say like, "Hey, can I make a?" Yeah, make the roll.
Okay. Yes, I would like to make a roll.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you're just like something like you've stopped and you cannot figure out where it's coming from.
There's a fish in your pants.
It's very nearby.
Why?
What are you gonna do? What do you do?
Are you seriously doing that?
I'm asking you what you want to do.
Is it still making the noise?
Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear this like faint like flapping sound.
I like look around and I can't tell where it's coming from,
No.
and like I whisper like, "Hello?"
You don't hear anything. Like, I mean, you hear the flapping, the kind of panicked flapping sound.
You're seriously putting a fish in my pants.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, you totally
I did
are.
not say that. What are you gonna do?
You think I couldn't feel if there was a fish in my armor?
There's definitely no fish in your pants then.
It's totally one of the fish like tried to follow you out of the water or something.
I can't see it, so I like look around and I can't see it. So I would probably like move towards where I thought the noise was, but
The sound seems to be following you.
God damn it, I don't know. But my perception check failed, so
You don't see it. You just know that there's a sound like this fish noise coming from around you somewhere.
I guess I like try and like look around more. I don't like I would move towards the
Cast shatter. Well, I'm saying, so this is the thing that makes this like funny is that you keep turning around like where's the noise, and you walk and it follows you.
and like I'm moving towards where the camp is, and like every so often stopping and seeing if I can still hear it.
Yeah, you still can.
Can I roll another perception
No,
check?
no. You made that check.
Then I just like weirdly like come to camp, and like as soon as I like hit somebody, I'm like
Okay, so you walk back to camp. Little Fox is trying to like break trees, I guess. Like
I've changed my mind.
Okay,
She's
all
not
right.
trying to do that.
So
because it's too mean to the trees.
The group is around. I think Ishi, you're the closest one. You see Arcturus coming back, looking like very spooked.
So how's the water?
I found the fish found a place where the crossing is easier, but I swear something's followed me back. I can't.
And Ishi, you can hear a muffled like flapping sound. It's like gentle, quiet, like flapping sound.
I just like walk over to Arcturus and take a look at Arcturus
Okay.
for any protruding fish nonsense.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay.
I hate you right now.
All right, so Ishi, you can hear it, but just looking at Arcturus up and down, you don't see anything. But you hear
this is an episode of Blue's Clues.
I hate
this is like,
I
where's
hate
the fish, kids? Where's the fish?
really,
And it's like
it really
obviously
is.
visible.
Now both
in
of you
front.
can't find it, but you hear just this faint like flip, 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 flip.
It would be dead by now.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. It seems fine. Do you have a tail under there, like caught on something?
No, I don't have a tail, Ishi. Anyway, I know where we can cross the river, but you still probably need a method of doing so.
Little Fox is working on it.
Little Fox comes over
Mm-hmm.
because she wants to be shown the place in the river. So
Yeah.
so she just comes over and says, "Show me."
So Little Fox, you walk over and you can hear this like the sound, this like flapping sound.
This is, I don't even know what to make of this.
And yeah, so she just says, "Show me."
And then I would like turn around and like walk towards the thing, and the whole time I'm like occasionally like stopping and like I swear I can hear something, but
This fish is the best.
I hate you.
So you're like, let me show you. So the three of you
I'm walking along and I hear this sound.
Haunted by this like plip 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 noise. You walk back to the river, and you can see the river, and it's flowing slowly there.
Yeah. So there's the spot. Okay, I want to spend some time like contemplating this.
Okay.
And how I might.
Arcturus,
cross.
what are you doing? Are you just gonna like stand by the?
I feel like by this time I think I'm going crazy.
Yeah, you kind of do.
And so I probably like do that thing where like I take off my pack and I'm sure I had originally left that at the camp or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I'm doing the thing where I'm like looking around and like trying to like look at my own back and like
okay. Make an investigation check if you're gonna like fully like okay, what the hell's going on?
I'm really bad at investigation too.
Can't be
so-
worse than. Oh, yep.
I am worse.
So-
I'm
Audience, we all know exactly what's going on here, but what we get is a nice slapstick moment of Arcturus spinning around in circles like a dog chasing its tail, while a tiny red fish that's stuck in the back of his belt is just like flapping, and he just keeps turning around trying to see it. And
Told you there
just,
was a fish in
I
his
just
face.
can't do
I
it.
knew it.
It's this tiny little fish, and it's just stuck. It's stuck in your belt, but Arcturus is just like spins around and can't see it. Ishi, did you go with them, or is it just Little Fox and Arcturus?
Oh, Little Fox is surveying the river. I can't really help with that. So
Okay. All right.
Okay, and so Arcturus is over there, he's like spinning, he's like trying to
Yeah.
find the thing, and so eventually Little Fox just gets like irritated because he's distracting her,
Uh-huh.
and she like turns and sees the fish,
Yeah, you do.
and just like grabs it while he's spinning around, but doesn't say anything, and just like gently puts it in the
So
river.
yeah, you turn around, Arcturus, and see Little Fox placing this fish back in the water. Just a little red, like bright red fish. Just bloop, put
Oh,
it.
and I go down to the river and I like lower my head really close to the water and I say, "I'm so sorry, little one."
Yeah, it just like comes up to the edge of the water and just goes like boop, 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 and just
And
looks
I
at you.
think I get like some crumbs out of like my pocket or my bag and like drop a little bit like little crumbs of
Yeah,
rations and
it eats it and then swims away.
I was just looking for sweet rations.
Yeah,
in-
it wanted
in
more
your
of those
pants.
sweet rations.
can't believe you put a fish in my belt.
So meanwhile, while this is happening, Malik and Ishi are back at the camp. What are you doing?
I'm just sitting around this like dying fire with my little pet mouse, feeding it presumably tuna and mayonnaise. and,
Malik, what are you up to?
and being like,
So how long do you think it's going to take them to figure out how we get over this river?
and not contributing at all. They're really helping
Right,
figure out
speculating,
a
but not
solution
no
at all.
contribution.
Yeah, exactly.
Malik is sulking, and you catch him mumbling about how if he hadn't got kicked out of Wizard College, he'd probably know the right spell for this.
Right.
And he's like, I freeze it and walk across. Probably fly by this time.
So
Yeah, I know what you mean. Little Fox is the one who solves all problems around here. She knows where to go. She knows what to do and the stuff to talk to and the things to push over and the necks to snap. You know, she's really good at all that stuff. And I just follow her around basically and pretend like I'm in charge. But really, I don't know. She's pretty good at lots of things and I'm not very good at many things.
Have you ever tried growing wings? There are kobolds that do have wings, and I feel like it would be very advantageous.
You think if I could grow wings, I wouldn't have already done that?
Maybe you haven't tried it before.
Have you
I
ever
mean,
thought of being a different kind of kobold?
I mean, I haven't tried it before, but I'm pretty sure they're born like that.
Well, maybe.
Also, wings don't really help very much when you live in like small caves and stuff. So it's like a very specific kind of kobold that has wings.
All kobolds are born equal, but some kobolds are more equal than others.
Yeah, some are
Yeah.
urds.
So Little Fox back at the river. Yeah, it does. I mean, the fish seems to have led Arcturus to a place in the river that would be safe to cross, or safer anyway. And you can see the camp. You can see this like kind of unsettling campsite across
Yeah.
the river.
but they have boats. I
Mhm.
can see the little boats.
Yeah, there are 4 of them.
And so, yeah, like Little Fox gestures you near and points at the boats.
Yes.
You could bring us a boat. I won't make you ride in it, but you go over there and get one.
I could certainly try. It is quite a wide river, but you know, I'm rather good at swimming. So, did you want me
Just
to
like a
do that?
fish.
I would suggest, just for safety's sake, how wide across is the river?
I don't know. At this point, like quite wide.
Like 150 feet.
I don't know how wide is I'm using the Congo as my like real river.
The Congo or the Amazon or something.
It increases. Wow, at some places the Congo is up to 5.5 miles wide.
Are you?
Yeah, but it's not
Okay,
here.
it's not
though.
in here.
Not in here, no. I mean, I would call it like a mile, probably.
I'm looking at the Amazon, and it in places exceeds 120 miles in width.
Are you
Yep.
shitting me?
The widest
That's
point,
big.
yeah, the widest point of the Congo is 8 miles across.
Are you?
It's a
What?
very big river. I think we underestimate as people who don't like live like on the Mississippi. It's a big ass
Yeah.
river.
That is
Certain
a
rivers are
lot of
huge.
water.
Yes.
Apparently, the Amazon accounts for about 1/5 of the world's total river flow.
Damn.
That's how big it is. This is 20% of the world's river water is in the Amazon.
Damn.
The Amazon is probably way bigger
It's
than the
fucked
one
up.
we're dealing with. This is like on the scale.
Okay, so there is absolutely no way that we have enough rope for you to keep a hold of me while I.
Oh hell no.
No, absolutely no. This is like stealth commando Arcturus mission that she is suggesting you go to do.
Yeah.
And if you hesitate, right, you're hesitating a bit. She just says, "Oh, we're taking the boat over there. We give it back to them." It's not.
Oh, of course. No, I wasn't concerned with the ownership of the boat. It appears that most of the people who may have owned a boat on that side of the river are dead. But that being said, if, let's say, I were swept away, it would be very difficult to get back. You see, the river is incredibly wide, and I have to say that directionally, I'm not quite as good as you and Malik on the. If I go alone, I'm not quite sure that I could guarantee I get back with a boat in tow.
Didn't you talk to the fish to find the right place?
I mean, yeah, that would probably give me advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just
Yeah, and she gives you this look.
I'm just like
Yeah,
fictionally,
I
it's
understand.
possible that I get lost.
Yeah, and she gives you this look that's kind of like stunned, and it's just like, no, you swim too well for that. You won't
I'm
get
not
lost.
going to die, but I could still get lost. And then I say, all right, well, do you have some rope to tow the boat on the surface while I'm underneath the water?
Yeah, and she like fishes in her pack and pulls out. I'm carrying everyone's rope, so I have plenty
hey,
of
so question while we're talking about packs, is everything that Little Fox owns currently being held by Little Fox, or is there like some of it at camp?
no, she's carrying all of her shit.
Damn
all the
it.
time. No messing around.
What
with
about Arcturus?
My backpack is at camp.
Sweet. I'm gonna look through it.
Uh, in my bag, you would find a leather-bound diary, bottle of ink, an ink pen.
I'm totally gonna read your diary.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
going
there's-
to also.
There's also a
You're
journal,
awful.
a journal from my mentor filled with lore and wisdom.
What's your first language though? What do you write in?
Oh, my first language is probably I mean, let me Triton.
It's primordial,
it's primordial. It's primordial, like water
Water, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Primordial has a written form.
component. Yeah, I'm looking at what it says for Triton. Just give me 1 second. Volos. Pull up that Volos that I definitely have in
Yeah.
regular and not in any other thing.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just typed Volo.
It's one.
Well, it wouldn't tell you. It would just tell you what you speak. It wouldn't tell you whether there's a written.
I think
form of it.
I think the written form is Dwarven text is the like text form for.
Yeah, because in Aquan there'd be nothing to write on. Right. You can
Yeah.
here you go. You can speak, read, and write Common and Primordial. So there is a
Okay, there is a
written form of it.
Primordial. Yeah, so it's written in Primordial because that's my native language. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, I guess I don't spend much time reading that then.
You look at it and it's like all like swirls and scrolls and shit, and like some things that look kind of like a shell, and yeah.
Oh, come on. I was hoping for the And I miss Azaka so much. Pages, where are those?
I'm assuming that names that are in languages that aren't primordial, you might see her name written in.
I'm just like going through it. There's like primordial, Azaka, primordial.
Well, yeah, is primordial like Japanese? Does it have a separate alphabet for loan
I doubt
words?
it. I doubt it. I probably write in common for like Azaka, Schult, like you know.
All right. So
Hey,
what
Yeah,
is
you
so what
find
is
my diary, but you can't read it.
what is the plan, Arcturus? Are you going to swim across and try to get a boat?
Yeah, I would probably, because it's so far distant and I'm definitely not going to be able to reach the bottom the whole way. I would probably like shirk my armor and
course, yeah.
like drop my shield. I'm keeping my trident with me.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've got like how 50 feet of rope like tied around my waist, and I'm like, well, I hope to see you soon, and if I don't see you soon, well, I mean, I hope to see you. Let's just and then just
just jumps in the water. Okay, so mechanically, I have to ask you some stuff. So, are you going to try to be stealthy?
Guidance.
I mean, of course, I'm getting guidance from Miss Titia. Like,
Right, but you're only. I need to ask you how you're
complaining
doing this. Are you trying to be? Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you trying to focus
Dave
on
was just whispering
swimming?
at me. I am
you can
trying
make
to focus on swimming.
Okay, so you can make an athletics check with advantage, or you can make an athletics check and a stealth check, but neither would have advantage.
I'm trying to focus on not.
Okay, so you don't care if anyone sees you swimming across the river. Okay.
Not.
All right.
I mean, it's probably a mistake, but no.
Okay, and I think you have advantage on the stealth check because you're underwater. You can breathe on. You don't have to surface.
Yeah, no, I don't have to surface.
Okay.
I can
All right.
just
So make
be underwater.
I mean, the two of you have been goofing around on the other side anyway, but that's fine. Okay. Make that athletics check.
Okay. And is Tishia bless me?
No problem. No problem.
24.
Okay. And then make a stealth check.
Okay. This is for boating.
No, this is just for approaching.
Oh, well. It's either really bad or really good.
No, it's great because you're
great.
swimming mostly underwater, right? So you're
Yes.
just causing ripples. So they probably saw you if they were looking. They probably saw you on the other side of the river, but they don't know that you're approaching.
Are you wearing your armor?
No. She specifically
took
said
it
she
off.
wasn't. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Arcturus dives into the slightly murky water because it's slower here, right? So it doesn't run as clear. You dive into the murky water and begin swimming across towards Camp Vengeance. And so I think that's what we see as we fade to break, right? Is the camp, the ditch full of bodies, the corpses piled up around its outsides, and it looming darkly ahead of you. You begin to swim towards it. So we'll take a short break here, and when we get back, we'll see what lies on the other side of this ocean star. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation, River of Tiny Fish. So, Arcturus,
Yeah, what's up?
swimming across the river. So
Yeah.
you are on your way to Camp Vengeance. You are swimming across the river, and you surface,
I don't.
and well, you have to get close to the surface anyway. And yeah, you can see the camp. It is, I don't know, it's pretty big. You can see the gatehouse. As I said, there's a moat. There are bodies and flayed like animal corpses all around it. And there's a little bit of like area that's been chopped away to make a beachfront with four of these canoes. And when you get here, you can see the canoes are probably big enough for 4 people. One canoe is big enough for 4 people. And they're just tied. They're not floating in the water. They're just up on the beach and they're tied up.
Okay. I was hoping they were on like a dock.
Oh, I thought they were floating.
No,
I
no.
thought they were on a
Mine-
dock and
Yeah.
floating.
But I mean, it was a ways away, right? Like this took you a long time to swim over here.
Yeah, of course we didn't get a good view. Okay. So what I had wanted to do was use the length of my Triton to like unhook one of the boats without like, I mean, they're on the beach. So obviously I have to get up on the shore at least a little ways. But like I wanted to try and like use that extra length to unhook it and then just like pull it into the water. I want to not like call as little attention to myself as possible. I would have preferred to just not get out of the water at all, but since they're like beached,
Yeah, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
doable for you, I'm afraid. Let me take a quick
or
look.
can I like? This is a weird thing because the way that I've described my magic whip, it's not really a cutting implement, but it's like also a magic weapon. Could it sever one of the boat's ropes?
Let's
I
no,
think
no, no,
we
it can't.
can
It can only
different
attack like
weapons.
physical targets. You can't use divine
Okay,
or
it's not
spiritual
like-
weapon to do that. no.
Okay.
Let me just pull everybody over to the map because I have a separate map of literally every goddamn thing. Let me pull you over to the map and we can all take a look at it and help Arcturus plan Operation Steal a Boat, Grand Theft Aqua. Let me give you your site here for everybody, and then I'll drag all the players over.
Oh, hey, I never realized the compass in the sea on the wild map. It's got the little Tomb of Annihilation face on it.
Yeah, the
Ew.
Archlich. Yeah, scary face. Okay, so this
There's
is
an archlich here.
Yes.
he is the owner of the aforementioned tomb.
Yeah, his name is like Ace.
There's a pronunciation guide. Thank the powers that be. Thanks, Dungeons and Dragons. There's a pronunciation guide in the book. I have not looked up him because I didn't think I would need his name so soon.
You know, good old aesthetic.
So yeah, he's a scary lich man. And so this is what it looks like. I assume, can everybody see now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can
So-
see the gatehouse up here, and I think actually as you approach, doing the kind of like lift your eyes slightly above the water to look around. Yeah, you can see there are guards posted. The house, the little guard house up here, has a tattered flag hanging off the front, like tattered and burned and like probably mostly like ripped up, but you can just barely make out the gauntlet, the hand of the Order of the Gauntlet on it, on this filthy banner. And up top are 2 nervous-looking guards, a Chultan and a Chondathan, though you couldn't tell where in Chondath he's from. Like one tawny skinned, one dark skinned. Both of them look miserable because they're standing in direct sunlight. It's jungle hot, and they're wearing chain shirts and holding shields.
Gross.
So they're just like standing there, trying not to like be the most miserable of all time.
Okay. So my thought here is that my best way would be to try and get in between two of the canoes and like hide with my body like in between the canoes, and then use my like Triton to reach out and try and like lift one of the ropes off.
Okay. All right. So your Triton is only, you have a reach of 5 feet, right? Like you can't, it's not a 10-foot reach weapon,
Let
right?
me see. It's within 5 feet.
Yeah. So at most, if you're holding the very end, you could like reach, but they're tied by knots to this pillar, this little wooden stake, right?
I was just gonna try and like roll the top one off of the thing.
Well, they're tied through a hook, and they're tied to them to the post all around and in a big knot together. But like they're kind of, this one's kind of in the water. This closest one. Yeah. What do you want to do?
What about where it's tied on the front of the boat
Yeah.
instead of on the pole?
Yeah. You want to try to like untie it from there?
I want to try and use the actual body of the boats as cover.
So you want to
To-
sneak up in between the boats?
Basically, yeah, like I want to use the boat as cover from the view of these guards,
all
and
right.
then like maybe like shimmy up to where the boat
Amazing.
is tied at the front of the boat and untie it.
Okay.
And then like let it drift, go back under the water, and then like once I'm more confident I'm out of their view, I will then surface, tie the boat with my own rope, and come back across.
All right. Well,
Meanwhile, the tune from the Pink Panther plays through this
Yeah.
entire thing.
didn't say like sneaking up, like swimming out of the thing. All right. Make a stealth check.
I am asking for the blessings of Istitia on this fucking bullshit.
Okay. Thankfully, you can cast your spell underwater, so they can't hear you. So you just like cast your spell.
This is gonna be fucking.
Whoa, no! Oh no, you're terrible.
Yeah. Goodbye. I'm dying.
Okay, so you got 5. All right.
Yeah, I'm dead.
All right.
See you guys later.
So you like swim up there, poke your head out of the water, get ready, and you hear someone, you hear a voice from above, shout, "Hey, hey!" And then the other voice, the other person comes up running beside him. What do you do?
New strategy, talk your way out of it.
I think my new strategy is that I yell as loud as I can in the primordial language to try and scare them. And then I just like run back into the water.
So you
and,
just
like,
shout
swim
in.
away.
What do you shout in primordial?
I think I shout something like, "Your house is really messy." And
All right.
they don't understand.
Okay.
I immediately like not courageously at all give up on the boat.
Okay. One of them hucks a spear at you. 45 feet. Okay, so he's got disadvantage, and you have cover. You have like 3/4 cover, whatever. And I get a 10.
No.
So it misses. So one of them's
Wait,
like,
wait. I'm not wearing any armor at all.
it super doesn't matter. A 10's not enough because even unarmored, you have a 10. So any
Okay.
bonus and disadvantage. So he's just like, ah, and throws a spear at you, and it thunks into the sand as you dive back in the water and like swim away.
Yeah. I can't
Okay.
take on.
So from the other side of the river, Little Fox, you're watching, but you can't really see the details of this stuff because it's, it's a ways away. But you do hear a pung 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 of like an alarm being raised distantly across the river. And Arcturus, you swim away.
Still no
Okay,
boat,
then.
damn it.
I like the amount of time it would take for me to like I don't know what kind of check I would have to make to try and untie a boat while spears are being thrown
Jesus.
at me.
Yeah, I mean it would be turns and they'd be attacking you.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that bullshit.
Let
Well,
me
because you don't have a knife. If you just had a knife, you just walk over there and
I don't have a knife.
actually rope is pretty hard to cut through anyway. So
Yeah. Okay, Okay, all right, yeah. Nothing bad happens at the camp. You don't get like attacked by a Tyrannosaurus or whatever. And Arcturus gets back, and then what?
Without a boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I like climb out of the water looking slightly soggier than usual. And I say, I had to get out of the water and everything went badly after that. There's only 2 guards, but I don't have a knife. We probably didn't think that through. I didn't get a boat.
Yeah, and she just like shakes her head. Now they know. They make alarms.
I should have cast fog cloud.
Fog could have rolled in. You could have jacked all 4 of their boats.
I didn't think about it.
It's okay.
That's my bad.
So the 2 of them return to the camp looking a little dejected. Malik and Ishi, what are you doing when they arrive?
I'm hastily closing the flap on Arcturus's backpack and pushing it away.
Yeah, I'm finally going to I'm going to be regaling Ishi with the end of what I remember about this camp, because I keep meaning to make that stupid history check and I just never
Okay,
do.
yeah, make a history check. You wouldn't know it by name, just a camp downriver from Camp Righteous. Or upriver. But yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
I feel like we've talked about it before.
There's no way that would have happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you know about camps generally. Okay, this camp you don't. And this camp, maybe you heard rumor that there were survivors from Camp Righteous, or that they were pushing upriver to make more camps. But this camp has not been around that long. It is not an intentional camp. This is an escape camp. This one is not on any plan you've ever heard of. So I think what you know is that you don't know anything about it. I think
that's why I'm so surprised as they walk back. And that's why I'm so surprised that we can.
Yeah, so surprised. Just
see this. Oh, yeah.
So, did we figure out how we're gonna get across the thing?
Well, you see, I tried to steal a boat, but in the end, I'm not nearly as sneaky as you, Ishi. How long could you hold your breath?
Like
why did you try and steal a boat?
Regular amount of time.
Oh, we were going to give it back.
So you went up to their camp where they could see you, tried to steal that. This doesn't seem like the correct way to ingratiate yourself with a camp full of people that we're hoping to stop at.
Did you see? They have flayed animals. I don't really think that people who flay animals
Then why were we trying to go there in the first place? We could have just moved on.
And Little Fox chimes in at this point and says, moving on. And sits down to make some food for herself.
To where?
We must go to Orlunga, but
we still gotta cross over the river.
It is on that side of the river, yes.
They destroyed our stupid boat, freaking goblins.
Yeah, and Little Fox shrugs. River doesn't go forever.
Yes.
We will have other chances to cross.
I don't know. It's pretty long.
As a point of order, there were many dead people and also flayed animals. I really think that I don't think I can just leave be piles of dead bodies. I don't feel comfortable.
You'd rather the 4 of us take on an entire encampment's worth of people because you suspect that they might have hurt these people in the past? There are plenty of different reasons. In fact, it was your judgment. You got to make the decision. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I will stop trying to tell you how to do all these things. I need to trust you to make your own decisions.
Okay.
Too much talking.
Here's the thing, right? And you say too much talking, and Ishi just keeps going.
Of course.
Here's the thing. When it comes to the number of places where we've been, where the response has been killing us or attacking us in some way, it's been really high. But statistically, there has to be somewhere in this jungle
where we won't get attacked when we go there. And
Well,
I'm hoping
speaking
that
of-
it's that place.
So
Speaking of being attacked, they did sound an alarm of some kind. I should
Because
say.
you said you were trying to steal stuff.
they
They
did.
might be bringing their boats to us.
And also, was that you yelling?
So
As this conversation is going on, like when Arcturus thought about, oh yeah, there was an alarm. Like he starts putting on his armor.
So Arcturus, you saw the sign of the Order of the Gauntlet, right? It's a gauntleted hand holding a sword on a gray background. The Order of the Gauntlet. Now, unless this is being put up as we killed all the Order of the Gauntlet people, though the guys you saw up there, I'll leave it up to you to decide, but they didn't look like, necromancer servants or whatever. The Order of the Gauntlet is an order that is formed explicitly. They were a lawful good order. Everyone on Earth has had some contact with them. Everyone knows they exist. They're like the Harpers that way. And they're predominantly clerics and paladins of the gods of justice and protection, and they're anti-evil, right? They fight evil everywhere they go.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a lawful good organization that stand militarily against evil foes in decisive unity.
So I would have known that.
Yeah, they can be dicks about how they do it. They're very authoritarian. They don't often take votes from local communities first, but they're not you're not wandering into, if it is an Order of the Gauntlet camp, you're not wandering into, however, trying to steal from them.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to be too happy about that.
So I feel like I'm remembering the alarm, and I'm putting on my armor. I'm like, oh right, they did there was some drumming, and then I think again, and I'm like, actually, they did have I don't know if you saw it from across the river, Littlefoot, but they did have a banner of the Order of the Gauntlet on. Maybe they might not be. We should. If they're, the thing is that we can't really get all of you closer without some sort of boat. I'm not really equipped to just take one. But
Why don't I head down to the bank across the river where they're probably still searching for you, try and smooth this whole thing out. We can talk like two groups of civilized people.
Wait, you said Order of the Gauntlet? Yeah, no, we should just go. Yeah. Let's go to the next place.
Statistically, there is one place where the people will probably not try and kill us on sight.
Yeah, but not for me!
Ishi's right. Malik, you'd be fine. Arcturus, you could talk your way into being like, yo, I'm just like you, but blue. But Little Fox and Ishi, they would probably need a lot more convincing to believe that
I'm
the correct
very
thing.
persuasive.
That's true. You are.
Okay.
You can't really negotiate across the river, though.
It's my snout on the line, but okay.
Don't worry. You can all stay here, stay hidden. I will only come back to either tell you that we're moving on or that we've secured passage across. If I think you're going to be in danger, then we can just leave.
I mean, the river is quite wide. How exactly do you intend to speak with them?
Shout real loud.
I do have...
You got magic make you louder?
You seen? They can breathe fire. I'm sure I can
Pretty
shout
cool.
fairly loud.
Okay, so what's your plan, Malik? We will follow you out into the jungle. What do you do?
So, yeah, I press to digitate a small object in my hand, which is a little white flag, and I wave it as I come across. I'm
so
waving.
They're not coming across is the thing.
No, I just want to wave it.
Yeah, to try to get their attention. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at first it's hard to know if anything is happening. You're just like, my magical white flag. Hello, we give up. We quit. And then after not knowing what's going on, nothing. You continue. Nothing happens. But then you see a group of them get into a boat. You see 4 of them get into one of the boats and start paddling their way towards you.
Okay, I steel myself. I make sure and look back in case.
Now
Yeah,
you're.
they're hiding badly.
I was to say, yeah. Here's the thing: are you far enough away from your friends that I'm not going to ask them for a stealth roll at all, or have you asked them to come along? In which case, if they fail that stealth roll, these guys are going to realize or think it's an ambush if they spot them.
I'll leap them far away.
Okay.
If
Yeah, we're just not coming along.
Yeah,
That's
they're just
okay
not.
by
That's
me.
what I assumed. Yeah.
Because Little Fox knows herself well enough to know that if
Hold
things
up.
escalate, she'll go into a rage and kill everyone.
Hold up. If Malik goes by himself and then I try and follow him, Little Fox, do you stop me?
To hell yes.
Okay.
So there was
And
this
I'm-
moment where Ishi runs off after you and then gets picked up by
And
the
it's like
scruff
a
of her
big
neck.
hand just scoops you up.
Yeah, I think that like I'm putting on my armor and Malik's like, I'm gonna go and talk to them. And I think about, yes, of course, go talk to other. And then I'm like, I just tried to take one of their boats and they
I'm gonna sit back down.
I'm gonna be right here.
Yeah, and Little
Okay.
Fox just says, just like, has you in her big burly arm and just says no. And then sits you down across the like little camp from her and just like
Okay, fine.
Crosses her arms and
I was
looks
just
at
gonna
you.
watch
Okay.
from the bushes.
So Malik, as the boat gets closer, you can see that it's three men and women, group of them in chainmail armor. Two are rowing. One is holding a spear and like looking out. And then at the front of the boat, with his back to you, there's a broad, squat man in heavy armor and chainmail with a tabard, a filthy tabard with the order symbol on it. His bald, sunburned head glistens whitely in the jungle sun, and you can see he's got these enormous red, like bright red sideburns. And as he gets closer, you can hear him, and he's shouting at the people in the boat. He's like, Keep it steady. No, steady, you fools. And the boat is kind of tipping. He's like, oh, why? Just come on. And he like hits one of them and they're like, oh, sorry, sir. And like paddles the boat. And he turns around and he sees big sideburns on him. And he's got kind of a snarl on his face. And he looks out at you and he's like, you there. What are you doing? Was that your flag?
It was. It's a little difficult to cross the river myself. My boat was destroyed earlier. Are you members of the Gauntlet?
He squints at you and he's like, who's asking?
My name is Malik Al Gharib. I'm an archaeologist.
He looks at you, he's like, a what?
I search ancient ruins and destroyed civilizations for knowledge about the past. History? Historian?
He shakes his head and he says, I don't think I've ever heard that word before, but he looks you up and down and he says, you're not sick, are you?
No. Sick how?
And the boat kind of like comes up and there's no shore for them to like detach. So they're kind of, you're having this conversation while the people are trying to keep the boat steady, but he's talking to you and he keeps wandering off this way and he has to turn around and be like, keep me straight. And like pull the boat back around so that he can face you again. And he's trying to be stern, but he keeps drifting off. And he says,
Yeah.
you know, sick, like you have a disease. Been bitten by anything strange in the jungle, have you?
Oh no, I've been making sure to have insect repellent every day, and I'm not one of the triangle. I'm still not sure whether that's an actual sickness or a brainwashing or.
And he just shakes his head and he says, are you out here alone?
I'm not, but I thought I should come and meet you first. My companions can come across a little. There's a different descriptor for each of them and why it is that they shouldn't be the ones to make this conversation.
Make a persuade check. Let's see how this goes, whether he wants to take you prisoner or not.
Okay, I'm going to use inspiration.
Okay. All right. Nice. Good that you did that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, 17. So he says, are you're not like, you don't have a weapon on you.
No.
Right? Okay.
Staff,
Yeah.
that's it.
So he says, it's not safe out here. Don't you know that? There's undead everywhere. You shouldn't be standing out in the jungle like this. We shouldn't even be talking out here. Now, he looks over his shoulder. He says, the camp's on high alert. We saw some sort of creature floating in the water earlier. The guards say it was a swamp monster of some sort. To which I said, there's no swamp around here, just the river, you idiots. And he looks, and you can see the guard who obviously made the report, like, roll his eyes, like, look, I didn't mean, and he's like, quiet, you. He turns back to you, and he says, now, you wouldn't happen to be traveling in the company of some sort of river monster, are you?
No river monsters that I know of. No, not a river monster. Nope, most definitely not. I do know merfolk, but they can't swim in this sort of water. They're saltwater type people.
And he says, you're traveling with the mermaid?
Merman.
He squints, he's like, how does that work? Is the fish part on top?
Oh, wait, no, they're called tritons in this game. I said tritons every time. I'm sorry.
I love the idea that Malik accidentally called him a merman. So he says he shakes his head and he says, we can have the biology lesson later. There's no point in being out here making all this noise. And he looks down and he says, well, we don't have a lot of room on the boat for you and your friends, but well, and he looks behind him. He's like, take me ashore. And they're like, but where, sir? And he's like, over there. And they kind of like paddle him over, and he wobbles. And I'm gonna see if he can make the jump without falling in the water. Let's give him a difficulty 15.
This is the last holdout of.
Oh, just barely.
Order.
So he gets up on the edge, and he's like, all right, hold her steady, boys. And he like hunkers down, and he goes to jump, and the boat tips a little, and he just falls in the water. And he splashes up out of the water, like flailing, and he's like, God's damn it. Pulls himself up, wipes himself off, wrings out
I
his.
go over and I offer to like take his hand because I'm not armed. So
Yeah,
I'm probably seems super dangerous.
So you pull him up, and he weighs a ton. Dude is huge. And you pull him up, and he's just like, I've fallen in this river more times than I can count. And he like sighs, and he says, all right, let's go and see your friends. And you idiots, don't go anywhere. And he turns back to you. And as you're walking, he's like, lead on.
Yep. I'm like, as I'm pulling him up and I'm patting him down, I kind of put a hand on his back, and there's like a slow warmth as I just dry him off.
Yeah. And he like shivers a little, and he's like turns and looks at you, and kind of was like, well, he brushed himself off. It's a little off put. He says, I'm Captain Firebeard, which funny, but it's not. He's like pointedly like, don't joke about it.
Don't worry, I have.
Does he have a beard?
No.
No beard.
No.
Okay.
He just has giant
He
sideburns.
has mutton chops.
Yeah, big old mutton chops.
Now, I don't want you to get into a situation that you're uncomfortable with, so I will warn you that my companions are not human.
And he squints. He stops.
They are
He
to be
squints.
trusted.
He stops. And he squints, and he's like, "Not human." Well, I mean, nor am I. So, what do you mean then? Like elves, dwarves, perhaps?
A little more unconventional. They all speak common and are
And you
very
see
happy
him.
to
You
obey
see him like
laws.
put his hand on his sword, and he's like, "Your friends aren't goblins, are they?"
Oh no, I've known some nice goblins in my time, but no.
And he
No
looks at you, and he's like, "I can't abide a goblin sympathizer. I think you must be mistaken. But as long as your friends, they're not goblins, I think we'll get. Now they're not undead, are they? You're not traveling with any." And he's like, you can see him try to think of like undead that you might.
What are other things I hate?
Any
Yeah.
vampires, I
Right?
guess.
Like, and then he realizes it's daytime because that's the process he goes through, and he's like, never mind. If you're traveling with the dead, you'd be one of them already.
True enough. All right. Okay, everyone. I'd like shout back to them. I say, I'm here with Captain Firebeard. He wants to meet you all before we are ferried back over to the camp.
He says to you quietly. He says to you quietly before anyone responds, or as they're responding, he says, "This better not be an ambush, because you ambushers go to hell, you know."
I don't believe I have been able to set an ambush in this jungle yet. It's always been them triggering on me.
He nods like, oh, real talk.
Yeah.
So you found a boat then, and Arcturus is that it's that look of like, oh yes, that's what we were doing, but also it makes me very uncomfortable, and please don't recognize me from before.
So he looks at you when you come out, Arcturus, and you can see him, the gears turning, and he looks you up and down, and he looks at you, Malik, and he's like, which part is the fish?
The whole part.
The part where she goes fishing in this godforsaken river every single day.
And he looks at you, and he looks you up and down, and he says, well, you look like some sort of blue elf or something, but not too dangerous.
Yes, my species is loosely related to aquatic elves. I mean, not very close, but they can
Yes.
I don't think that the
almost like a blue elf.
All right, merman. I didn't ask for your life story.
Pointedly, by the way, I'd like to be hiding,
Okay.
but behind Little Fox.
Okay.
So like wherever Little Fox is sitting, I'm line of sight behind them.
as a general rule, not a merman.
And
I can't imagine anyone would ever make that mistake.
and he shakes his head and he's like, I don't like water. Like that's
And,
just
and
that
like I
clears it
think
up.
that Arcturus wants to say that it probably doesn't like you that much either, because like
I don't like you either.
probably like I'm just gonna guess that people that have been in this like jungle for a long time are very dirty.
So Little Fox, how do you make your entrance?
Well, she's seated so that she's not as intimidating. And is just like across the camp. It doesn't say anything because she's awkward and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So she just looks at this dude.
Do you?
Go on, say something.
He's just like pushing you.
Say hello.
Yeah, and she doesn't. She just like looks at him.
Yeah.
How does he react to
Make a charisma save. 16. Okay. So he looks around and he sees he gets distracted by Arcturus's rambling and he turns and he sees Little Fox. And you can see him like catch his breath. Like he's like and he just looks at you and his eyes go wide. and he's like, "Oh my. Well, hello there." He kind of like look like his body language totally changes where he's just like, "Oh dear."
Yeah, and then she stands up.
And he just follows you up like, oh dear.
Because like, how tall is this dude? He's a dwarf, so he's like 5 foot tall and very
yeah,
wide.
like just pushing 5. Yeah.
Yeah, she's as wide as he is, but 3 feet taller. And so yeah, she just kind of like looms over him and doesn't say anything, and then like sticks out an enormous hand.
Yeah, and he says quietly to Malik, like they're old friends now or something. Like is like a secret tone. He's like, she's like 2 beautiful women stacked on top of each other. And look at all that fur. And he goes to reach for his hat and realizes he's not wearing one. And then he just like bows to you and he's like, "Milady." And he looks back up and he says, I'm Captain Ord Firebeard of the Order of the Gauntlet. Currently captain of, well, one of the captains. I'm very important at Camp Vengeance.
Yeah, and she just makes this like kind of noise. And then like walks like shoulders past him.
Mm-hmm.
And goes down towards the river.
Yeah, and he follows. He watches you, and
well, you
so
walk away, and I'm fucking left in the
right,
breeze.
and he turns back, still a little like frazzled, and then he sees Ishi, unless you like dive to hide.
No.
And he sees you, and he goes for his sword, like not to pull it out, but he grabs it, and he's like, "Hi, by tears, missing digits, it's a kobold," and he draws his sword.
It's a
No,
good
it's okay. It's okay. I'm with the rest of the one you really like. She's like my best friend. It's fine.
You haven't heard of Ishi, the famous kobold duelist?
It's true.
He's like looking around. I don't know about what. Oh, this day has gotten very confusing. Make a persuade check,
Okay.
or I guess charisma save. Do like
I'm
a
helping.
first impression.
I'm helping with the famous kobold duelist part.
Are you though?
Can you help
think
with
I
a
am.
charisma
No, it's
check?
just a save. You can't help.
Can I inspiration on a check
Oh, of
like
course,
that?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you can
inspiration then.
Inspiration, you're saving.
Damn
throw.
it.
What an inspired saving.
So
throw.
he's got his sword out and he's like, I only know that kobolds are smelly and they live underground and they undermine. And if there's anything a dwarf hates, it's undermining. Regular mining is fine, but and he points. He's like,
it's funny you would say that because I heard the same thing, but about dwarves.
and he,
That they're smelly and they live underground.
Ishi, this is on your friend. Perhaps
I'm just making conversation.
I'm sure you both have lovely stories about each other that have nothing to do with the present company. Neither of you fill these stereotypes, and everybody can make nice and go in a boat to a camp so that we're out of the jungle for one night.
Malik, you know Smelly's not bad, right?
Yes, I trust that he's not bad.
I mean, I hang around with little fox all the time.
Wow.
So Malik, why don't you make a persuasion check here to like calm the situation? Nice. Okay.
Damn.
So he puts his sword away and he says to you, Ishi, he says, I won't lie. I've never met a kobold that I could speak to, or really any kobold before at all. So you're a bit of a surprise. I'm sorry I drew my sword on you.
And that's okay. I get that reaction a fair amount sometimes, but it's fine. It's okay. Not many of my people learn the whole complicated common thing. Draconic is like way easier. Or they live far away.
Actually, I mean, in Draconic, I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
So he says, what are you all doing in the jungle anyway?
Adventuring.
We're finding the cure for the death curse, actually.
And he sighs and he says, death curse? What is that? Another sickness? I'll add it to the list.
I would like to mention that if any of your men or women have ever been brought back from the dead, you might want to keep a close eye on their health. Have any of your compatriots returned from the dead?
And he scowls at you and he says, shakes his head and he says, I don't know what it's like under the ocean, but up here among the order, when you die, you stay dead.
Very well. That's probably good for you then. Because anyone who has previously been who has had a resurrection spell cast upon them is finding that it doesn't last quite as long as they thought.
And he puts his hands up. He's like, oh, it's magical. Well, I don't know anything about that, and I can't help you. We've got plenty of mundane enough sickness back at the camp. I swear, Sister Sias, she's been busy day and night keeping us from dying. We sent for help at the port, but none came. Things have been a miserable hell since what happened upriver. Downriver, I guess.
Don't you have clerics as members of your order? Have they not been able to help stay the sickness from you?
Clerics, she says, or he says, as though plural. No, Sister Sias is our only priest.
Well, wait. You said something about what happened downriver? We killed all the goblins.
Oh, well, all the goblins then? Good.
Well, like the ones that were there.
I'll let the commander know all the goblins are dead.
All right, good.
There's always more goblins, Kobold. Always more. And
Probably.
undead, and terrible beasts that come in the night and try to batter down the walls.
Well, why would you tell the commander they were all gone if there's always more?
Do they not have sarcasm where you're from?
I'm just new people. I don't know your tone yet.
And he sighs, and he says, I'm sorry. I'm short with you. I'm a dwarf.
What?
No. Well, I am a cleric, and while my god may not be Tyr or whatever other gauntleted fellow you all worship, he has been kind to me. Maybe I can help you with this sickness.
If you can cure any of the illness that have befallen our men, I'm sure we'd all be willing to make offerings to whatever enormous tuna you worship. Now, it's gonna get late soon. Darkness falls and it gets worse out here. Come back to the boats and we'll take you to the camp.
Have you met other Tritons that worshipped enormous tuna?
He squints at you. He's like, I don't know. I just thought it's a big fish.
I don't worship what I eat, but thank you.
I could worship my way to a very large bottle of beer right about now.
We can give you mayo.
Actually, we could give him
We could give
some.
him beer.
It can make
Or
beer.
beer.
Do you say that?
But yeah, it's funny that you should mention that. Actually, we managed to.
He turns.
I'll tell you back.
He turns suddenly and grabs you by the front of your shirt. He reaches up and grabs you, Malcolm. He pulls you down next to his face. He's like, "Say that to me again."
Beer.
And he goes, beer.
And he's like, "Today is the most beautiful day of my entire life. If you give me," and he like looks around. He's like, "Now there's no reason we have to share it with the others. You see, but where is it?"
Well,
And suddenly he's just like licking his lips, and he's just like,
I suppose if we can consider your good word to the rest of the camp, then a drink among friends should be fine before we head back.
He nods and he goes and sits down on one of the like logs that's nearby. You've been sitting on. He sits down and he says,
It can make 4 gallons of beer, by the way.
he says, cool. So like
That's
three
enough for a dwarf.
three for him, and you guys can share one. He sits down and he says, he says, you know, I swear I had thought that I would go to heaven. He sighs. He says, from some foul sickness. And I'm beginning to think I never woke this morning. And he looks over at Little Fox and he says, a beautiful creature and a magic urn that makes beer out here in this wilderness. The ancestors will never believe me. Now, and he has his own like drinking horn. He just carries it with him and he puts it out and it's huge, right? And he's like maybe you thought it was like a horn for blowing. And he's like, now fill me up.
Yeah, who has the beer thing? Is it
I
voluntary?
don't think I was carrying. I don't think.
I
that-
think you, Little Foxy, you probably do by
You probably
default.
do.
Yeah, you're
Very-
the beautiful
pretty much
beer
it.
maiden who comes
All right, well, it weighs
Make
12
sure you
pounds, so let me just add it to my inventory.
Yeah.
Alchemy.
Yeah, I think it's heavy, so
I assumed you had it.
I can't carry it.
Yeah, it weighs too much for anyone else to carry it. I'm still good. I'm carrying 273 pounds. Here, and it's
210 full more than me.
And so yeah, she just like plops down the thing and is like, she like scratches her head and is trying to like, which one's the beer?
Mhm.
And like opens one and like sniffs and then like quickly closes it because it's the acid one. And
Uh-huh.
rotates the thing and then yeah, like boonk, and then starts pouring out some beer.
Okay.
This enormous jug.
Yeah, you pour it into his thing. And he holds it and he looks at it, and the froth spills out over his fingers, and like just tears like well up in his eyes, and he can just feel the frosty mug of beer, and he like
Oh yeah, it's like it's a little cold.
slowly presses it to his lips. He drinks the whole thing in one go and belches loud enough to startle some birds that are nearby. And he looks up at you. He swallows and he wipes his mustache and he says, "Do you have a boyfriend?"
There was a cyclops once.
Yeah, and she just like her eyes narrow.
We could take a
By
break
the
there.
way,
Actually,
Ishi's-
that
Ishi's
could be a
arms-
thing.
Ishi's arms folded, looking indignantly at this.
Yeah.
At the
He just
Yeah.
like works the beer spigot.
Yeah, so let's do that. Just the look between the two of you and him just looking up at you, sparkle eyes, and then we'll fade to break. Awesome. All right, stick around. We got one more hour of Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conclusion of today's episode. Episode number 10 of Roll20 Presents Tomb of Annihilation. So you share your 4 gallons of beer with your new friend, Captain Firebeard, Captain Fire Mutton Chops, and
Fire chops.
Old Fire Chops. And he's willing to like you hang out and you talk, and he doesn't care about the soldiers that are in the boat. He's just like, "Boop, we're gonna drink and hang out now." So what do you want to ask him about anything, or like what do you get him talking about? Because this is a good opportunity to like figure out what the hell's going on.
So what's your camp like?
He shakes his head and he says, "Have you ever seen a mass grave before?"
How long you been there?
It's about 1 step up from that. We've been there a few months now, though, to be honest, each day sort of runs one into the other.
What's like the biggest thing that's come to bother you?
Have you ever seen a thunder lizard before?
Yep.
He nods.
So, where do you get your food?
He says, well, we ration. Sometimes we fish when it's safe. But to be honest, it's thin living.
You get supplies from from
The name of the town that I should definitely know that is
The only city in Chult?
Yeah,
the only one.
Port
Nyanzaru?
Nyanzaru? He shakes his head. He says, "No, we sent a messenger downriver to Port Nyanzaru more than once before the commander said no more."
Is it bad that my immediate thought there was that one flaming fist guy we said like took an arrow to the back of the head or a spear to the back of the head?
Hard to say.
About this sickness that your people are suffering from. Is it? I mean, do you know how contagious it is?
He gulps down another swig of ale and he says, No, you've got it wrong again. Priest singular, sickness plural. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that poor woman, up all day and night trying to keep people from dying. She's at her wit's end.
I would like to at least try, if we are still intending to go to the camp to rest. I would like to at least try and see if I can help.
I have to warn you, Commander Breakbone, if he finds out that you're of use, that you can heal or whatever you do, he's going to have a very hard time letting you go.
Excuse me, letting?
He nods. We're fighting a war against evil here. Everyone's a part of it. You'll be drafted for sure.
I have my own part to play, and it does not require me to stay here.
I have to tell you, that's not the way that Commander Breakbone thinks about things. You're either with the Order or you're against it. He doesn't like to be said no to. Now, the other captains and I, Captain Salhan in particular, we've tried to talk some sense into him, but, well, we've got some prisoners already, and I'm sure he's going to be quick to add a few more. Just be careful. I mean, these poor men, they're sick and some are dying. All they want to do is go back to Cormier or wherever and see their children, but, well, without some help, they're going to die.
You have prisoners? Because they wouldn't...
He rolls his eyes. We have 2. One's a man. Couldn't tell you where he's from. The other, well, he's some sort of creature I've never seen before. Doesn't speak. Smells funny most of the time. I don't spend a lot of time in the prison, but, well, that's where they are. They've been there a week or so now.
And I'm
I
sorry,
had to
what
read
was
that
there?
for a second.
They were imprisoned merely because they wished to leave, and your commander wished them not to?
Well, it's not so simple as that. See, the commander told them that if they were going to stay, they had to perform certain duties, help us fight, those sorts of things, but they said they had some sort of quest or mission to go on, and they got in an argument, and, well, this fellow and his creature friend, they're not the politest, said some rude things to the commander. I warned them not to, and, well, now they're locked up.
I look
Do all the members of the Order of the Gauntlet wear gauntlets?
He squints at you. He says, "Well, I mean, sometimes. I mean, when we go
By
into
the way, while he's been giving very useful information, Ishi's been thinking very hard about her next question, and this was it.
right, yeah,
I feel like I look around at the rest of the group, kind of ignoring Ishi's question. I'm like, it sounds like if we wished to take advantage of whatever respite Camp Vengeance might give us over the night, we would be hard pressed to find a way to leave.
Don't worry, I'm not an impolite man. I'm sure we could come to some sort of arrangement around
You
this.
said the captive smells bad?
well, not bad, just unusual. I've had men.
Unusual how? Like cabbage or like rotting meat?
He shrugs. He says, "Well, I haven't spent a lot of time smelling the prisoners. There's just been word going around, odd smells from the cages."
Maybe they've died. Have you checked that?
Looks at you and he's like, "I can tell a dead man from a living one. I've got plenty of experience with both." He sighs. He says, "Listen, it's going to get late, and unless you've got some more beer in there, we should be getting back to camp."
Sure.
I am conflicted about entering the
How many boats do you have?
generosity of Commander Breakbone.
He says, "Well, the unfortunate thing of the matter is that now that I've found you, and you say you can help, I'm honor bound to bring you back. There are men who need you. If you can do as you say."
Don't worry, we will work this out.
And
I promise.
he
We
nods.
won't leave you there.
Well, perhaps we can also help those two men who have been wrongfully imprisoned.
What's your favorite thing to
We'll
eat
see.
for dinner?
Ishi.
He squints at you and he thinks about it. He's rubbing his chin. He's like, "Well, I haven't had roast boar in a long time.
Oh yeah, roast boar.
My grandma used to make the best." And you hear his stomach go like, and he's like, "Oh, well, it's rations for dinner again, or fish, I guess."
I'm quite good at fishing.
And he looks at you and he's like, "I hate fish almost as much as I hate water."
You okay?
Okay.
And he gets up and he's like, "All right, we should
By
go."
the way, I'm just playing into the asks a lot of questions.
Totally. Yeah,
thing that I
yeah.
have.
Yeah. Take inspiration for sure.
Yay.
I mean, in fact, it's inspiration for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think we diagonal wipe, right? Because there's no point in saying you go back to the thing and you get on the boat and you do all this bullshit and you are arriving at Camp Vengeance, right? Several boats have come to bring you across, and you come on the camp as night is falling, and you can see that there are men up on the thing with torches. I'll bring us over to the Camp Vengeance map again, but yeah, security seems a little tighter now that night is here. There's a tension in the air. The soundtrack takes on an ominous sound. And while the walls are they're a palisade, right? They're not you can't walk on them. There are little towers set around this wooden gate. And the group of you are approaching the main tower. And one of the guards up top looks down, and Captain Firebeard, the guards salute, and Firebeard gives them a salute, and they pull the door open, and you are led into the camp. So let's take you inside. So you pass through the gatehouse, and inside the camp there is a large tent, 20 feet by 15 feet ahead of you. There's two smaller circular tents. There are puddles of stagnant water all over the place. You can hear the buzzing of mosquitoes. There's some crates and barrels left out. You can see little towers from where you're standing, kind of up here and out these ways. There's smoke rising from behind the tents from some campfires, and to your left, you hear the bleh, bleh of a group of four goats. And Little Fox, when you look over at them, these are the saddest, freaking sickliest goats. They're just one of them tries to stand up in the mud and is just bleh, and then just gives up and flops back down. They all have bugs crawling all over them.
They look little
Yeah.
box goats.
Little Fox doesn't need more reason to hate these people and want to murder them, but there they go, just providing me with more. And so yeah, you just hear like a low growl from her.
And your companion, Captain Firebeard, he nods and he's like, I know. You try living in it. And you see approaching from the tent. As soon as you come in, he notices first and snaps to attention. Right, like you hear the snap of his fingers hitting his head when he salutes. As a man approaches from the tent in front of you, he has like pale skin, but he has a that kind of like perpetually dehydrated, like sort of sunburned look. His lips are like pale and chapped. He's wearing a suit of plate armor and a ragged cape coming out the back. He has a long sword at his belt, and he is balding, but not like he didn't shave his head. You can see he's got like a ring of hair around there. And he comes out, and the guy salutes, and everyone else, like the guards on the posts, everybody like salutes him immediately as soon as he comes out. And he walks up and he addresses the captain, and he says, "Captain Firebeard, who are our guests?" And Firebeard says, "Sir, this is," and he turns to you, Malik. He says, "This is Malik. He's in charge of this group. I believe they're historians." And he kind of like squints his eye, and Breakbone looks at you and he scowls and he says, "And what?"
Actually, I'm a linguistic anthropologist, but
And he when you say that, he like snaps his head to you, like eyes wide, and he says, "In my camp, you speak when you're spoken to. Am I understood?
oh, how interesting.
And if you're going to speak to me, you must address me as commander."
Certainly, Commander.
And he like wrinkles his nose a little bit, and he says, "And who are these creatures?" And he looks at Little Fox and Ishi.
Wait. He just said not to talk.
Malik stops you. He says, "These creatures are my companions. They are humanoid as the rest of us."
Except for Ishi, maybe.
No, that's all he
Is a
says.
kobold still humanoid?
Yep.
And he looks and he folds his arms and he says, "Well, if you and your companions have come here looking for charity, we have none for you. This is a military encampment, and my priority is keeping my men alive until reinforcements show up."
Pretty gross military.
I do this thing. I like raise my hand, just because you don't speak unless spoken to, and I'm a stickler when it comes to proper
Yeah.
etiquette and customs.
And he looks at you and he says, "Do you have something to say?"
Yes, Commander.
Well, out with it.
We were actually coming here to help you.
What?
Yes, we heard that some of your men were sick.
And he scowls and he says, "And what help can you offer?"
Well, I am a cleric of Istitia, and I can already see that you're not exactly keeping things hygienic around here.
Arcturus, please. We're willing to offer you our help as a service. We understand that you're not part of your group, and we do not intend to stay here over long. We wish to exchange information, exchange this assistance that we can provide for you, and then we'll be moving on. We don't need your rations. We have our own, and we have our own tents.
So
we'll keep out of the way.
make a persuade check, because when you're like, "We have rations of our own," and
then I pipe in with Commander, just like as an end thing, because he said to always call him Commander.
You're basically telling this dude, like, we are a bunch of people who are well-intentioned, have a bunch of stuff you can take, and are useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll sort it. It will be fine.
No, we're not. We're gonna have to kill all these people.
Better spend that inspo, Dave.
damn, nice. All right, so he looks at you, and for a moment you can see under the layer of discipline and aggression, his exhaustion just for a moment, and he, like, it comes out as just a snort, and he says, "Well, if you're here to help, then I'm going to have to put you to use. Do any of you have any talent with healing, bandaging, anything like that?"
Yeah.
He looks at you and he like rolls his eyes. Out with it.
I said I was a cleric.
And he takes a step forward, gets a grab in your face, and he's like, "A cleric of whom?"
Is Tishia?
"I do not know who that god is." And he like scowls. He's like, "Is it some sort of monster god?"
From the primordial plane of water, where I am also from.
He scowls and he says, "Well, does your water god give you the ability to cure diseases?"
I mean, I would have to rest and prepare, but
"Sias!" And he turns around, and you hear a woman's voice shout, "Yes, sir." And the tent here, I got little tokens. There's no art for
and like
Commander
after,
Breakbone, but I'll
I
put
feel
them
like
in the note.
afterward, like he's like yelling, and I remember that he said to call him Commander. I'm like, oh, Commander. Yeah.
So a woman comes out of the tent, and she is, let's see, what does she look like? She is a like a darker skinned woman in her in like middle age. She looks like the rest of them. She looks like a soldier. She carries herself as a soldier. So she comes out of the tent, but she is exhausted. Her eyes are sunken. She looks like she's just had like a rough life. She's got her sleeves rolled up and her shirt. She doesn't have her armor on. Actually, no. Discipline would indicate she would have to wear her armor. She has her armor on. Her tabard is covered in like blood and vomit and other fluids. She has her sleeves rolled up and her hands are dirty. And she comes out and you can see hanging around her neck a holy symbol. And I always get these like Forgotten Realms religious dudes mixed up. Let's see, Helm, God, Forgotten Realms.
Helm's the gauntlet guy.
They all have gauntlets is the thing. Helm is the gauntlet.
Form and Spear all have a hand.
Helm is the gauntlet with the eye on the back. So you see that it has a little blue gem for the eye, and it's this thing. It's hanging out of her, and she comes out. She comes up, and she walks over, and she salutes, and then she turns and she looks at the group of you, and the commander says, "Sister Sias, this one says that it can help you." And Sias looks at you, and she says, help me how?" And the commander cuts you off and says, "Apparently you're both endowed with magical... Well, this one's your responsibility. If I find it stealing supplies or otherwise causing trouble, it's in your head, sister." And she like looks at you like it's your fault that now she's saddled with you. And she kind of like... And then she turns back to... Breakbone turns to Firebeard and says, "Put the rest of them to work." And storms back into his tent.
As he's saying, "Put them to work," I say, "Excuse me, Commander, one last thing."
He stops, turns around, looks at you. "What is it?"
We are not your people to command here. We are not part of the Order of the Silver Gauntlet. And frankly, as difficult as life is out here, you're not making it any easier for your men. We're going to work together. We've established this. But we don't need all the extra... You're not my supervisor.
He looks at you for a second, obviously listening to what you're saying. And he says, "I don't know what things are like where you're from. I don't know what you have or haven't seen in this God's forsaken place. But we are on the front lines of the only battle that matters, the battle of good versus evil. And if you are not here to help me, you are on the enemy's side. You would do well to remember that.
It was never a question of not helping you. We wouldn't have come if we didn't believe that we could. And I don't expect gratitude exactly,
But payment might be nice.
but I want to be treated with the respect that we're owed.
And
As people of means,
he
offering-
scowls when you say that, and he says, I think you are mistaken, sir. No one is owed respect. If you want my respect, you'll earn it. And that's when he turns and walks away.
Well, I can see in the dark, so I guess I'll go on the tower thing.
You're like, ooh, I could do a job. So Firebeard, he looks at you kind of sheepishly, and he's like, well, he's the man in charge.
Why exactly is he in charge? I'm not trying to, start anything, but I just don't understand the rank structure here.
He's the commander.
And who put him in command?
He puts his hands up like, the council.
Are they here?
He shakes his head. No, of course not. They're back in Faerun.
Do they pay you?
He nods.
Are we going to get paid?
Well, I mean, if you enlist, there is a stipend. But the thing is, we're on the frontier here. You don't... He's a brash man, but you don't know what it's like. Every night, the dead at the walls, these abominable creatures, this whole place is out to kill us. We're just trying to stay alive.
Well, actually, all of these pools of stagnant water with the mosquitoes, that could be one of the reasons why everyone's getting sick. Mosquitoes are a vector for disease.
So while you're speaking, Sister Sias kind of like goes from like, oh God, who are these people? I need to get back to help people. And you say that and she's like, like, interesting.
If you, why exactly did you leave the pools of water? Are you not able to?
Sias says, because you're not talking to her, you're talking to Firebeard. She's like, drainage is nearly impossible. I understand, and we do our best, but the men. She looks back at the tent. She's like, come with me, and she like grabs your sleeve.
Wait, we gotta. You need something to drain the water. I'm also good at digging.
She looks at Firebeard like these three are your problem, and basically just drags Arcturus away.
Yeah, and so I would be like, I could solve the problem for now, but like if it rains and it happens again, I obviously can't do anything about that since I won't be here. But you should really take care of that. And like turns back as he's being dragged away. Yes, Ishi, maybe blah blah blah, like into the tent.
Okay, so Malik, Ishi, and Little Fox, you're outside with Firebeard, and he says, well, it's getting dark soon, so I need to see about putting the men who can still stand on the walls. Keep an eye out for if the dead come, or whatever else the jungle wants to spit at us tonight.
You want our help, right?
He like scratches his head and he says, honestly, I don't know how much the men are going to trust you.
Kobolds have worked for humans for a long time. Digging stuff. I can do that.
He says, well...
Just let them know that it's not kobolds digging in. That it's kobolds digging out.
I do need someone to help with a project. And, we can fade to that, but so what does everybody want to do? Because he does have something he can put you to work doing, Ishi.
I know what he's gonna put me to work
Yeah,
doing,
I know.
but
Military.
Ishi's excited.
Yeah, Little Fox wants to grab Malik for a bit.
Okay,
here.
all right.
and
I'm definitely doing the
talk.
thing that I'm here to do, which is medicine.
Okay, so let's do these in order. Let's do them. We can do like a couple of minutes for each scene to kind of get a handle on the place. Let's start
Yeah.
with Malik and Little Fox, because the two of you are kind of left alone, and I think the guards that are here, one of them is coming like looking down at you like, I ain't never seen a furbolg before. But the others are still doing their jobs and like getting set up, and the camp is kind of like rousing to its night's watch slowly.
Yeah, and so I just kind of like Little Fox just reaches out and grabs Malik's like front of his shirt and just drags him somewhere where we are at least somewhat. I think over to the goats.
To the goats, yeah.
Yeah. The goats are a perfect backdrop for this
Okay.
grim conversation.
Yeah, so it's four sickly looking fly covered. Like you think one of them might be dead until you walk over and it kind of like kicks a little and looks up like bleh, like puts its head back down.
And so yeah, the noise of the goats kind of covers for this like very hushed conversation, where Little Fox just says like, "No, we're not staying here.
Not even for tonight.
Everyone will be sick. We will be trapped here. That man will take from us, and we'll die here. Or I will kill everyone." And there's like a pause before she just like says that, and they're like, like the anger is kind of coming up, and then she like chokes it back down.
This isn't what I expected either, though. I can understand. I've been in charge of people who've entrusted their lives to me before. I get what it's like. I don't agree with him, but I think we can help each other.
These people are.
And I plan to help exactly as much as we can to get what we can out of them and then move back on. There's a reason I'm not part of this group. They recruited on campus all the time. Everyone did.
They're here trying to fight the forest, and the forest is going to win. They're already dead and just don't know it. We should leave as soon as we can. And this is like, again, this is like the most words she has strung together.
Yeah.
It's really very important for her to like say this stuff to you. But she just like goes quiet after that, and it's just like, I think you can like hear some part of her clothing like straining as she's just like gripping her fist really tight, and like her arm is flexing, and there's just like this straining sound as if like her bag would like snap off of her or something. And yeah, she just goes quiet and like fumes and looks at the goats.
Yeah, one of the goats has managed to like come over to the fence, kind of like just nudges you a little, like. Bleh,
yeah, and she like
bleh,
reaches out a hand and just like very gently like brushes
bleh.
out of its face.
And it's like not even really strong enough to keep its head up, so it like plunks its head down on the post while you like pet its head.
Yeah, and she's like, it's not like, oh, you pet the nice goat. This is like, you're sick and dying, and I'm just trying to like provide some comfort to this goat.
Why don't you stay here for tonight while the rest of us work, and you tend to these as best as you can?
Yeah, and like she doesn't
I
respond.
won't tell you to calm down, but if we can make it through this, I'll get a look at their maps, and then we can move on tomorrow.
Yeah. So like she doesn't answer at all. She just is like trying to like help this goat feel less awful, and not even talking to it. She's just like not saying anything.
Okay. So meanwhile, in the tent, Arcturus, in this tent there's actually a thing to roll. 10 people, and it's like a 15 foot by 15 foot like tent. Yeah, like 10 foot radius tent. There are 10 people, and they're lying like just like next to each other, and like the tent, there's flies and it smells like sick. And there's another like an acolyte or whatever, someone who's working with Sister Sias, tending to someone, and he looks up when you come in and then goes back to like pouring tea for someone. And Sister Sias says, you see how it is. There are more ill than there are well. The men on the walls are the only men we have left. This mission is doomed. More doomed than it was when we had to flee the other camp. We should have gone back to Nyanzaru, but she shrugs.
Well, these men can't go back to Nyanzaru the way that they are, but you have quite a task in front of you. Do you? And then like Arcturus goes into talking about like lesser restoration and cure wounds and like magical healing, and then like healing kits and if they have like enough gauze and blah blah blah. But I think that the thing is that I don't have lesser restoration prepared, so I can't like cure disease until tomorrow, and even then I can only cure 2 people's diseases at a time. So this is like a week's work of work.
She says, that's what she says. She tells you, she says, Helm has seen fit to give me all the magic that I am capable of performing, but even then, I heal 3 and 4 get sick. This place is hell.
Have you, I mean, of course, magic can only do so much. Do you know why they are sick?
She gestures. She says, the very land is getting its revenge on us. The first camp was beset by the dead. This camp, more so, creatures. I swear, there's servants of evil out there guiding them to us. They can see the beacon of the order and they just want to snuff us out.
Have they come in contact with these dead, or
she shakes her head. She looks, and you see a man who's like missing his arm, who's just like pale and like, again, you think he's probably like dead at first, but you can see that he's moving slightly. She says, some we lose more to the sickness.
I would like to like ask her questions and go around and look at the
You know, like make a medicine check.
make a
see what's
medicine
up?
check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
But
11. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, you're not really like a medic. Like, do you have medicine trained?
yes, I do.
Okay, so you're not. It's not like you're not a cleric of a god of healing or life or whatever. But you're used to like healing people. I mean, some of these guys are dying from infections from wounds, right? You see, there's a guy who has like a bite on his face, and he's like missing part of his like flesh. The conditions are really bad for healing. All of them are additionally sick with something else too. Some of them are jaundiced. Others, it's probably malaria. Because of the water outside and the mosquitoes. They're not. It's not like there's one disease affecting all of them. They all have like multiple things wrong. Yeah, and you don't. I mean, you're not familiar enough with Chult to know exactly the details of the sickness. But yeah, everybody's like real sick. And it's kind of like you weren't there for it, but it's kind of like what Little Fox is saying. Like the jungle is killing them.
Yeah, so I think that like coming like with this amount of people and coming from this, I feel like the best thing that Arcturus would think to do would be to like make a better environment for them to get better in. And then like anyone who's got a disease that's not just like an infection that could be cured with like cleanliness and whatever, like I would definitely prepare lesser restoration and cast it on like
She says to you while you're looking, when you're like looking around, you're trying to get a figure out. She says, I hope that you and your friends can help. I feel like I've been holding back the tide with a broom around here.
I mean, your best way to help these men is to get them out of this place. As you have said, it is teeming with disease.
She says, we have 4 boats and only twice as many in that men that can. There's no way to get them all out, and we've sent people. We've sent for help. No one has come from Nyanzaru.
Well, we are headed deeper into the jungle. Maybe we can find some people that can help you there.
She sighs as if she realizes she has something uncomfortable to tell you, but doesn't want to like make you upset before you've helped. So you say that, you're like, we're heading back into the jungle, and she's just like, well, we should we should get to work. If you can help at all. And she's like, I've started to triage and she changes the subject.
Yeah. Okay.
So meanwhile, I think you said about helping her, and we can figure out what that looks like.
Yeah.
She's actually a better healer she's a higher level cleric than you, but she's only got 3 spell slots of that level every day too. So
yeah.
Meanwhile,
We could heal 5 of them.
Exactly.
Keep them away from the other 5. And then the next day we heal this. We could do 2 days and we could cure disease all these motherfuckers.
So meanwhile, I don't think Ishii, I know and you know like what the deal is here. I think we just cut to Ishii holding a shovel standing outside the latrines. The captain has just sent you over, like he's left. So you're just standing there holding the shovel. There are these 3 wooden buildings, but nearby
there's also this cage with people in it.
And so as soon as fire, so the cage has two people in it. There's a man who looks like he's been in this cage a while. He's wearing just like a plain tunic and pants and boots. He has a beard that's kind of grown like a little bit like Tom Hanks in that movie where he's trapped on the island. And like long scraggly hair. He looks pretty dirty. And next to him is this weird ass creature dressed in human clothes, no shoes, but it looks halfway between like a dinosaur and a person. So I'll give you their little portraits for these NPCs. So there's what this one of them looks like.
Dino Man,
and then Man
Guy.
So
Man Guy.
for this Dino Man, is it basically like a lizard man, but more dino-y looking, like as a frame of reference?
Kind of,
more humanoid. Like lizard men have the long like kind of Godzilla spines, and like hunched and very like feral looking. This creature looks pretty pretty like calm and it has a gentleness to it. Ishii is scarier looking than this guy is. And they're both looking at you, and then as soon as Firebird goes away, the human like crouches down and he like sticks his arm out and he's like, Hey, Peck, come here.
Me?
And he nods, he's like, yeah, you speak common?
Yeah. Also, draconic. You
Then he looks around and he's like, common's fine. Come over here.
okay?
And I move over towards the side here, and I go like,
So why do they have you all in a cage and stuff?
And he says, listen, we've had some problems with the commander. Big misunderstanding. And he keeps like looking over his shoulder.
Sure.
Big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And, some things were said. Tempers got flared. And he locked us up in here. Now, I don't want to starve to death. But you've seen this place. There's not enough food to go around.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I am a very powerful individual. I have a lot of friends. You ever heard of the Harpers? Yeah, I'm a Harper agent. So if you let me go, he like looks around. If you let me go, I can get you whatever you want. I don't know what kind of stuff you like, but I promise.
Wait, anything?
And he nods. Yeah, and he's just like, just whatever you want. The Harpers can make it happen. It's a very powerful secret society.
What about if what I want is a better sword?
He nods. He's like, we got all kinds of swords. Big swords,
Or
small
like-
swords, sharp
or like
swords.
A cool hat?
He nods. Beautiful
Or-
hats. I will personally take you to Waterdeep myself and buy you a hat if you get me
and
out of this
Ishii
place.
like leans back a little bit as if she's thinking about what she's gonna ask for. She's got the shovel and she's just leaning against
So
it.
here's the thing: despite the like foul stench from the latrines, which are obviously in deep need of a cleaning, and also like chult and groundwater, and like the ground is squishy and kind of gross, like the cage is tipped slightly because the ground is wet. You smell. Despite that, you smell something that initially you're like, "What is that?" You don't recognize the smell, and then you're like, "Is that ham?" Like you just smell ham, like really strongly for some reason. And when you smell that, like you're like, the man turns and looks over his shoulder, and he's like, "Not now, big guy," and turns back to you, and he's like, "Listen, all you gotta do is find the key to this cage, get my stuff, bring both those things back here, let me out. if I can get my stuff, these people, these soldiers, they won't be a problem.
Well, if they're not a problem, then how'd you get in the cage in the first place? Because
So
if you had your stuff,
he puts
when
his
you
hands-
got put in the cage.
he puts his hands up and he's like, "Look, they got me when I wasn't ready, okay?" And the smell in the air turns to brimstone for a second, and he looks over his shoulder and he's like, "Come on!" And the dragon just goes like, puts his hands up, and he turns back to you and he says, "Look, they sucker punched me, okay? Look, it doesn't matter, just get the key, open the cage, let me out, give me my stuff, and I will take you out of this horrible jungle. Do you live in the jungle? It doesn't matter. I'll get you that hat and that sword and like a bag of gold, whatever you want."
Can I appear in this scene at some point soon?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So I think maybe you see the
That sounds like a pretty good deal. Do you know where your stuff or key to this thing is?
So you see the lizard, the like dragon man, tap this guy on the shoulder, and he's like, "Not now, buddy." And then he taps him again, and he's like, "I said not now." And then you smell violets, like that, the smell of flowers in the air, and that's when the guy like stands and turns, and both of them are looking at Little Fox, who has made an appearance.
Yeah, she's like standing
Hey!
on the other side of the cage.
Hey, little fox. This guy says he's with the Harpers.
And he turns and no, actually he looks at you, Little Fox, or at Ishi, and he's like, "Ixnay on the Arpersay, secret society. Come on."
I always thought you weren't supposed to tell people that. That's what I heard, but he told me.
And he stands up and he puts his hands up and he says to you, he's like, "All right, ma'am. The kobold has the right of it. Yes, that's right. Don't get too starstruck. You are in the company of the famed artist Simber and his companion Dragonbait. I know. I'm sure you've heard of us. We need to get out of this cage. And I was just negotiating with your little pal here about an exchange. Our freedom in exchange for, whatever. I have resources back home in Waterdeep
Little
that I
Fox
can.
puts a hand out to the cage and just like touches the corner of it and then just leans on it and just lifts it, like tilts it. So it just goes and lets it like drop.
Yeah, and it clunk, and he's like, "Ooh, hey, you're a strong one." And he looks up, like, and he's like, and you see the guard at the tower is now looking over, and he looks up, he's like, "We're fine, everything's fine down here, sir. Just dying slowly of starvation. It's fine. That we're behaving ourselves. No need to." And he kind of like looks back at you, like, "Stop getting me in trouble."
And,
You're the
and she
one
just,
talking to me. I'm supposed to be digging the. I don't.
making eye contact with him. She just shrugs, and it's the whole like,
Yeah.
never be trouble, but
And he says, "Listen, you two. I'm sure you're great humanoids, but here's the thing: we need to get out of here because I have a very significant destiny to fulfill, and I'm sure you do too. You look like adventurer types. I'm sure you have monsters to slay, experiences to have, but I can't." And he like looks around and he's like, "I can't stay in here." And
Look, you don't have to convince me any further. I'm already on board. Just tell me where the thing is that I need to go take to bring it back to you.
he puts his hands up and he says, "I don't know."
Okay, well, I got some looking to do then.
And he nods and he says, "Remember, fancy hat, sharp sword. Just get us out of here." And
Yeah.
And I think maybe we'll end there. We'll fade out on the
Yeah.
introduction of these two. So yeah, interesting things afoot at the old Camp Vengeance.
It's okay. I'm gonna be stuck here being a slave cleric forever.
I pointedly decided not to make any insight checks
Yeah.
or anything like that. I just chats like insight, and I'm like, I don't care.
no, that's
How
what
about
Little Fox
it's
is
more fun?
She's a gullible dork.
Yeah.
here. Yeah, Little Fox is here to not say anything and just observe, and then later be like, "No, we're not helping them."
Yeah. So, thank you, everybody who watched the show. Thank you, especially to my cast, because y'all are the best. I make an effort to prep. Like I look ahead to the next thing, and every time I do it, I'm like, I bet you this is going to go totally differently than I expect, or I bet you this is going to, like, they're going to surprise me. Something's going to happen, and I'm going to just be, every single session, I'm blown away. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for making this so fun for me. Welcome to Camp Vengeance. We will be back next week with more D&D, but in the meantime, all of these lovely people have cool stuff going on that you can check out on the internet. So let's find out where those things are at. Ishi Snaggletooth, aka Distracted Elf, where can people find you on the internet when they are not here watching you be a kobold?
Yes, hello, my compatriots. I am Distracted Elf. I play Ishi Snaggletooth, and you can find me at twitch.tv/Distracted Elf or on Twitter at Distracted Elf, where I am continuing to be the greatest tiny duelist of all time. Come find me there.
Excellent. Thanks,
Yes.
Elf.
It's not her regular voice, by
It's
the way.
not my regular voice. No. Yeah. Don't worry, I don't talk like that out of character. I just like doing never mind. It's fine.
In character outros are always a
You get the idea. I
delight.
do the in character outro.
Playing Little Fox today, our kobold, or our kobold protector and Furbolg barbarian. It's Commuting Crow. Andrew, where can people find you? What are you up to?
Well, okay, on Twitter, it's Commuting Crow. And then on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/actualfactual. I'm designing a tragic magical girl role-playing game called Girl by Moonlight. Check that out. Gonna be hitting my like beta of the game at the end of this month. I'm really excited about it. So you can find that on my social medias.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Dave, you were doing some 5e stuff. Where were you doing that at? Talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. I'm currently working on a custom class, which is based on Summoner from Pathfinder. We're doing some cool stuff with that. Had a lot of really good input from chat over at twitch.tv/Dave_human. Looks like we're probably going to do that every week on Fridays before we do this show. That's 6 p.m. GMT. Or if you want to know more about that or me or something, Dave_the_human on Twitter. Once again, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. It's a bad situation. No right answer, and that's always a really, really fun place to be in a role-playing game. So.
I'm excited to see how it goes. Last but not least, coming to us from the depths of the sea, Arcturus. I still can't pronounce your last name.
Vuvaxath.
Thank you. That word is Blue Jay. Where's Blue Jay? What's your deal?
I don't know. But you can find me trying to figure it out at twitch.tv/BlueJay or on Twitter at BlueJay_712. You can find me tomorrow doing a holiday one-shot of Made RPG on twitch.tv/roll4it. And the rest of the time, I play Burning Wheel with these nerds on twitch.tv/Roll20 app. Some good stuff.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm your dungeon master. I'm Adam Coble. You can find me at twitch.tv/Adam Coble or on Twitter at Skinny Ghost or right here every week with these folks, or as Blue Jay mentioned, playing my personal favorite role-playing game, The Burning Wheel, at Roll20 app on Twitch. You might also recognize me from Roleplay over at MeJP. So lots of role-playing game content coming from all of us. Lots of good stuff to check out. In the meantime, we will be back next time with more jungle crawling adventure. Thanks for coming, everybody. Oh, and also stick around, because right after we're done, like in 5 minutes or so, Dragon Friends is starting up. Usually there's nothing after us, but not today. So if you want more cool RPG stuff going on, Dragon Friends, happening right here. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching this on YouTube, ignore all of that. None of that is happening now. But I bet you could find them if you went looking. We'll be back next time. Thanks for coming, everybody. Don't get throat leeches or other jungle diseases. Bye. Send your adventuring party deep into the jungles of Chult. The Roll20 module of Tomb of Annihilation includes the full contents of the original D&D book and adds immersive features like dynamic lighting on all battle maps, character sheets with one-click actions, copy and paste quick encounters, and other interactive features like puzzles and a player's map of Chult. Your next campaign can begin with just a few clicks. Get your copy today on the Roll20 Marketplace.